not. This is going to be kind of a switch up from Loud, particularly on the defensive side. We'll have to wait and see.
It's all yet to be seen. Seconds away now for what feels like one of those timeless grand finals, but we get it here in the group stage. Of course, these are the winners of Group B matching up. Not making it unscathed, but it'll be Optic starting things out on the attacking side. And of course, that means on the defensive side, it will be Loud.
Actually, yeah, Les taking a ton of damage there as he shifts through. Actually, will come back.
Spike down.
The kill on Marv. Actually threw on main on the back of his tripwire, but a lot more pressure coming back through elbow. Yay, holding off 3 members.
They're feisty as hell. Loud won the fight. Ferocious for it. They find 2, basically. Marv and Ye gone. Now, where does this get 1 back for Optic? They need some space. They need a win somewhere in this pistol, but they've got just unfavorable numbers wherever they go. Noting 2 towards CT. They fall back towards site.
So yeah, looking as if Optic now just want to resort back to maybe playing contact on the way back through, but Loud with the numbers here. FNS will find the first though.
They need to bail out. They need someone to double down here, give them some more. FNS can't stay in that position too long.
Last player standing.
And already Aspas on the cleanup crash. He's the last one alive. It's 4 standing for Loud. Already getting fired up on the stage. Good beginnings and so proactive.
It really was. I mean, it was 3 down. And actually, I saw on the back of Les taking a ton of damage, but they just throw numbers behind it. I think under the assumption it's going to be Ye on the other side of that, right? Go for the weaker side of the setup, which is something that traditionally, I mean, with the Cypher, like you go to backstab, right? You try and get behind some of these executions. Just so happens Les actually finds the kill on the back of the trap wire as well.
One enemy remaining.
Clean as you like. Lovely work. Desk noting Les as a player to keep your eye on, who did have one of those standout performances. Certainly something to note throughout this game if you can kindle that sort of form. Of course, on the other side, we looked at Optic, and I don't get worried early with Optic. No. It's not a team that I'm too stressed about. I'm looking at the purchase coming in here for them, though. Sheriff's Frenzies, a little bit of light armor for Ye, but again, it's nothing too out of sorts here. On the other side, Bulldogs galore, and the early rifle for Aspas.
I think you're bang on the money as well. We wait for that first Chet timeout, really, when, if it warrants a switch up. That's where we see it, but at least early on here, Optic will push and prod towards B site. Really, Aspas making his way back towards Nest at least. Will reinforce this A site hold. Actually, with the Viper's wall here nice and early, it should keep both players on red alert here, and plenty of util to slow down this Optic push.
This is really nice for Loud. They can cycle through it. Just really soak up the time. Optic. I have to wait for this one. So the dart go down, and actually Sight going to be pretty much taken for free by Victor. But as you can expect the contest to get down, and it's quite clean. That's lovely. 2 found swiftly. No big threats. Sadak does need to be a bit careful.
One enemy remaining.
On 15, but found in the end. The rotations came in, 4 standing. Really, again, just cycling through the utility. A really nice timing there. Mike didn't seem too stressed, too out of position. Clean.
Lack of pressure in the early round here from on the side of Optic. Obviously doesn't draw out on his util. So, like I said, pretty much just holding on to their positions. And Sadak and Carter had everything they needed to slow things down. So eyes go towards this round now. All 3 coming in. See what the approach is here from Optic's. Looking fairly invested towards B initially, and looking actually pretty similar to the pistol round setup here from Loud, at least lacking 1 player towards tunnel and elbow. Again, going to look to try and get in behind this execution.
I don't mind trying to activate this rifle early with Aspas. A little high risk, potentially high reward. Victor on the other side, but the timing's great. Victor even gets a turn, it gets back on his feet, but
they were so blind as well.
Yeah, there was some real danger to this. Now, damage has been achieved. Yeah, Victor's down pretty low. Marv obviously lost his life in that, but a 2-for-1 trade out. Now, again, that's the rifle removed from this, though. So Sasi, Les, Pancada, can they find any more threats? Can they maybe chip away even further? But for now, we see them just everyone get on the site, calming it down, seeing some nice safe post plants. Let's see where Loud tries to approach this from, and they'll play back in.
It's looking as if they're just going to try and backstab once again, honestly. Go for these exits. It'll be very difficult to break back through. That's Les can open things up here, but behind that, it's a Sheriff and Spectre. You really have to close this distance. That's even the flank reveal.
That's here. Audio. You can instantly see it. FNS calling that through, well aware. Now going to get the free fight on 1, no trade, expecting the swing from window, and he's actually right to be seeing it. A pixel out of place is enough for him.
One enemy remaining.
And there we go. The rifle, the last thing in hand, it's gone. clean work from FNS, just ensuring safety in the end of the round. But I don't mind them trying to activate that rifle early. The flash, honestly, wasn't a bad idea.
I mean, half a second earlier, I think you could see how blind some of the Optic players
like
were
3 of them
in the
behind.
back line. So, again, crucial that gets shut down. And actually, another thing to consider here, with FNS being the one to clear things up in round 4 here with the first full buy round, actually should have access at least to getting the Viper's Pit online. Curious to see, actually, if there's any pressure towards this orb inside shop. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be playing too close on the side of Loud, but something to keep your eye on here if Optic can get themselves to a post plant.
Yeah, and Aspas going glass cannon into this. Not sure if he got spotted. Victor there maybe caught a glimpse of it. But unquestionably holding somewhat of a default for now, showing a lot of intention towards B, but you can still see the split from Optic here.
The problem being the drone goes through, but the info from the counter drone
Oh,
and the spike,
walkabouts.
and they know that it's a fake. Sadak actually will pick up Victor inside tube here. There's actually 2 holding on to this position here. Marv actually find out the flash as well, which will be noted. There's double confirmation of this fake.
And now contact made. Ye's in a little bit of danger, out of sorts and out of rhythm with that peak, and FNS makes up for it. Pancada goes down, Aspas watching the push-up, but one already making it through could be a problem. All going to be invested, but Ye now removed. This is looking desperate from Optic, as Louder in the right place for it now. Spike still, oh, Aspas!
Spike down A.
Just felt fated to connect that shot, as FNS the last one alive, and not for long, on the knees, down in this, as Loud, 3 standing, Operator still in play. Perfect start and perfect close. How on earth did they deny that plant so comfortably?
Absolute stab in the dark from Aspas.
Worked
Again,
well.
the Viper's Pit just to try and guarantee safe passage here, but there's a couple of peaks ahead of it blooming. Ye being the first to fall here.
Stay down.
Marved again, I'm not sure even how safe it is that he comes through, but that shot to Crashies. Beautifully done.
Calculated, I get, you know, with the Viper's pick coming through, but still. I mean, needs to maybe buy a lottery ticket tonight. Looking pretty good. 3-1 though. We go back in. Victor 1 away, so going to have the ult now ready to go.
It rounds out this purchase really. The rifles, well, light shield for Crashies. Couple of gaps in util, but Blade Storm will make this as close to a buy as they can.
But I like this. Aspas switching things up again,
Yeah.
showing those early aggressions with that rifle they went for. But this is, that's a leg shot as well. FNS gets tagged and gets body bagged. Aspas, beautiful work here. This is really confident building plays. This is what you want to be seeing if you're a Loud fan, is early work being done. Now, there has been a response though. Sadak gets removed, so it's not completely out of the realms of possibility, but you'll need some heroics from these two.
Crashies and Marv find themselves in a 2v4. Marv's actually won off ult. Crashies a little further away. Actually, the majority of the Loud players still curious as to whether or not there's any lurk from Optic outside B, but should be able to get away with a free plant here. A wide open A site. I'm not sure at which point Loud are going to figure this out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, surely the penny drops, or maybe they just simply sit for this position. Let's see what they go for here.
30 seconds left.
I mean, if Optic get this clean plant, they can play very aggressively towards CT, for example.
But the timing and knowing that they can do that will be the curious to me, because obviously they're paranoid that someone's here, and that would be
Rightly
the
so.
normal thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, hindsight Andy's out there just wondering why they're
Spike
taking so
planted.
long, but obviously with planted now, again, they couldn't take as much space as maybe they had wanted here.
That's the thing, with this plant position, it leans towards kind of just setting up for a crossfire here, and that's difficult.
They
to
are
then pull
trying
off a
to push
2v4.
CT. Maybe with the knife coming through and a little bit of information here and there, and now seeing utility invested through double door. It's not a bad shout, but Marv couldn't get that first shot he wanted, and now there's problems for Crashies. A 1v4 isn't impossible, it's just improbable, and Loud looking good. This is clean work, Mike.
Really is. Keeping numbers up as well is going to be a big boon to the economy. Does Loud find their 4th? I think actually on the back of that purchase as well, I mean, you look at what's available on the right side. Not sure where Ye sits in terms of his ultimate. Hasn't been overly active just yet. Yeah, that's still 3 away here. And you're right, that's what I lean towards. Yeah, just going to pop through now.
Just comes up as we go to the replay here, just kind of rewinding things to Aspas with this. I like this aggressive work, because again, let's kind of talk bigger picture as we are in this timeout for a second. If you are allowed, to an extent, you have faced these 2 and lost 2 now. They did pick up that first kind of time meeting, but we always said you don't get to beat Optic twice. That's always been the tagline with them. But now, again, I have to kind of focus in on the fact that Loud have had time to address this, hopefully, look into this. So is this the time they can potentially best them?
Which is why I'd love to think, actually, coming away from that first appearance on Breeze, the Optic had, Loud have gone, yeah, okay, we fancy ourselves now.
Yeah.
Because honestly, realistically, you look at this, Pearl is the unknown quantity, right? But Chef Chet, you've got to assume there's something dirty in the back pocket for Optic.
God, I think so. But they have to get there.
This rides on winning Breeze. It absolutely rides on winning Breeze, because with Fracture, again, yes, Loud pushed Optic previously, but it was still kind of, it was very black and white.
Yeah, it did. I would say, though, even with that in mind, though, and it's a rarity in Valorant so far that we actually get to see international consistency, repetition.
Absolutely.
Two teams actually meeting each other on such a regular basis that it isn't just going over VODs, which obviously will be the case, but the fact they have tangible history, they know how each other start playing, and this is something you've got to start looking forward to in the future, but as I said, these two seem fated for each other. It's hard to remove them away, so hopefully a couple of things now to be noted, and this is when maybe it plays outside of the statistics and the previous results because they're so familiar. However, back underway, Optic need to, of course, correct it from those first couple of rounds. Let's see what they've noted here. This is probably not the round to really see it. Coming through with a Stinger, Sheriff, and almost no light armor behind it, apart from Victor and Ye.
Trying to get a couple of bodies down tube, though, very early on. See Atsiles's position ready for just this very push. Actually, a big tag through Sadak that wants to finish it off. Satsi actually finds the second as well. Beautiful collapse behind this as well. Very unorthodox positions to be able to find. 3 separate angles onto this, nearly catching FNS on the backside of the rope as well.
This could all be just kind of testing for that buy round again. Quick rotations. Quick response.
As well.
Yeah, Les is farming now. Big tag on the first player too. Grashy's barely breathing. 6 HP. This is not kind nor pretty, and Alt's very close by as well. Les almost onto his. You've got Sassy, Aspas sitting on theirs, and the scoreline is looking good. This is where you want to see that response from Optic in the buy round.
Absolutely. You see this. You talk about the scoreline. Actually, last time I think when these teams faced off on Breeze, Loud only managed 4 rounds on the defense.
Wow, what a
Optic
change.
absolutely ran away with it, and it was a pacey offensive half. So this is interesting here because Loud just seem in total control. Whether or not there's going to be any sort of focus now from Optic towards mid, I'm looking at the minimap and I'm seeing actually a couple of bodies scattered a little safer this time around. And again, nobody's really been swinging shop. Nobody's been, you know, aggressively trying to take a first blood in tube just yet, but there's been a lack of presence towards mid. This time around, Aspas immediately countered with utility.
Massive. They've quelled this aggression. That's probably the first step of potentially the plan, be that the adjustment off the timeout, but a really big key aspect to note. He now has to slip away. This gives room for Optic to build up here. Now, how have they addressed Tube? Because that's also been a battle that's been going on consistently. However, it's Ye finding Sadak first and maybe getting a little interested in pushing those extremities, but the default gets tested.
I mean, I was talking about nobody aggressively swinging shop. Look at where this death marker is. There's exactly that. So Ye almost gifted. Optic now feel as if they've got a little access towards B site. And look at the setup on the back of the null command. Look at the trap wires. Look at actually where Pancada's positioned. He's just looking to pick something up on the back of that utility. Still wants to keep his poison orb up as well. Actually got a line up for the poison, but I think it misses there. FNS will find the backstab.
This is a real nice lurk. A nuisance, a position to have to clear.
Optic going to drift away. He's heard both players rotate off A.
Big call. Big call from the Kingmaker, the Puppet Master, hell, even Daddy if you want to call him that. But again, there is the site now, it should be theirs. He's got 27 seconds, so things could go wrong. Keep in mind, Sassy still has that ult, could decide when he wants to use it. Les could punish on the cross, but he doesn't quite get the shot he wants. Now he loses the angle. He's running up the player, but that's not quite enough. And note where the spike's going to be. Sassy looking to try and get invested, and still, you've got to keep your eye on towards FNS. The position's a nuisance to get past. And there it is, dealt with, so now suddenly Gateway is open.
And the wall will drop as well on the back of this. Sassy revealed here. Not Les is going to find any value outside here. Would actually swing through. Marv completely unaware.
Yeah, and now look how isolated they are from each other. Victor has to swing, and he loses. And you need Ye here. If you are Optic, you need Ye to have one of his rounds. The cross is being watched. He gets the tag! And Loud together make it through. The composure is key, and Loud looking good.
looking flawless on that retake. Again, it feels like that took an eternity to get started, but again, FNS being the first one to fall, they lose that safety blanket.
Yeah.
The wall goes down, a couple of people have to challenge.
They didn't even...
Wow, what?
And this is without the ult, so Sassy still got his, Aspas still has his,
I-
in the pocket. It's so much
I was
here.
thought for a moment there the spy cam tag comes through. Maybe the Hunter's Fury was
That's
going to
what I was
follow up on
expecting.
that, but again, it's played to perfection on the way back through.
But early work looked good for Optic. They got the punish on the push out over towards shop. Yale being activated
Brilliant
early.
push
Again, FNS hearing rotations. Like everything went perfect until the post plant, which is mad to see. So again, for Optic, probably frustration starting to hit in here. 6-1 is a big scoreline to have to overcome. Aspas though again, seeing a little further ahead here, going to deal with that early utility, slips to a slightly deeper angle, just dependent on the wall, but Optic happy to take this space. Again though, the purchase, it ain't perfect, but that shot is. Head remove, Victor put to bed early. And now, I mean, you've got that late lurk coming in mid, but what are you going to achieve with it? Maybe a little damage on towards that Aspas, but you need the bodies to stay alive on the side and just not getting it. Alright, FNS, fair enough.
Beaming with the Spectre.
Yeah,
what?
fair enough, man, but the ult's gone. That GA removed, so just FNS to fall. Man! Mike, let's take stock. Let's hit the brakes for a second here. We're at 7-1. Is this, let's kind of then talk in context. Is this, we've lost to them in the past, we've played them before ourselves. Is this good calling on the fly? Is this good preparation? What are you chalking this up to?
I think there's a couple of rounds here where you can chalk it up to good prep, but I mean, there's lots of space that Optic aren't. They're not necessarily giving it up, but there's a lack of kind of presence around the map, and now they're punishing that. I mean, you saw it initially from the pistol round, then we see it in the follow-up round where they were continuously addressing this presence in elbow. If there's no pressure there, they're free roaming mid.
And again, look at it, Aspas, rinse and repeat. Instantly down towards elbow, instantly taking that space. Now, Ye looks like he might be put to task on this in case anyone tries to slip through mid deep potentially, but even by now, the rotation's going to be in. You're going to have the ult being popped. That's going to come through. That's Crashies though. Bear in mind, Sassy still has his. Absolutely. Denial! A 2-for-1 trade out. Optic really just getting the steps towards the side. Big pick though, finding Sadak. That could be the gateway open, but Les going to fill that void.
Down A.
You're going to hear the Hunter's Fury get ripped from across the map as well. Sending that through, the flash is good, but the shot's better! Crash is still standing, but only for a moment. It's on FNS now, a 1v3. Oh, there goes one of them, at least vision removed. 1v2 standing. That spikes
I was going to say, has the Viper's bit here, but that's going to pop it out here. Aspas shouldn't come through. Actually, yeah, the plant's going to come outside. Look at the reposition.
Does he get to see
Sassy.
it? Does Sassy see this? I don't know if he caught vision on him, just dipping back into this, but now that moment of time has been removed. What does FNS do with this? He's got a Galaxy Brain this somehow. Alright, just stand and deliver. Does he try and slip the back? Just holding.
Aspas has given up the angle. Oh my god.
The time's unreal, Aspas! Must have caught a glimpse. Just see him teetering on the edge of the ult there. Diffuse gonna come in. And Loud have every single answer, Mike. And this is 8-1. And Optic are getting on the sites, they're getting plants, they're doing what they can in this. But again, this mid-presence, this work coming out from Aspas alone, this theory behind it is brilliant to watch.
I mean, I talked about the adaptation potentially with this Cypher and, looking to backstab some of these executions. Yeah, he's out on an island in some of these buy rounds. Yeah. And time again, Loud are finding that.
This is nerve-wracking times now. Loud's map choice, though, so
I mean, we're around
keep that
10
in mind,
here.
but
Look at the money as well. Like, it's not even going to matter for the last two. Optic walk a fine line here of what they want to put into each round. First time we've actually seen utility invested towards tunnel here to slow down Aspas. Suppress this time around.
We saw a little bit of util coming out from Crashies to try and identify that when he was going walkabouts even deeper. It did get noted once
but it was
prior.
towards bottom mid. It's
exactly.
still allowed safe
passage to that point.
A safe swing from top mid is what I mean.
Yeah, so first time we've actually seen that earlier commitment. Now, again though, you can't avoid this guy.
Everywhere.
He's playing a beautiful game with this operator currently. Not exactly the highest score we've ever seen, but he's 12-3. It's nothing to be sneered at. And the push is being watched. Sadak in perfect unison, in combination. They're shutting down everything Optic are trying to do, and FNS last man alive again. A 1v4. Spike in no man's land, a mile away, just left in Narnia. And it just feels like Optic, the lights are on, but no one is home currently. Loud are at the door, and this is a commanding scoreline.
Let's look at, I mean, the miracle being if they can get the 3 rounds from the rest of this half. And it's not looking like it at all. Again, coming out of that timeout, yeah, we saw a round or two where there might have been a little bit of a switch up, but nothing tangible. I mean, Loud is post first contact. They literally just stack up, and they just move as a unit. I mean, even here you see reflected in the kills. FNS actually on 10 kills, but there's nothing else really to write home about for the rest of Optic.
No one above 3. Crashies 3, Yay 3, 2 for Marvdom.
I mean, FNS has more kills than the rest of the team combined.
Yeah. It's pretty telling, but it just feels like it's just not working out. It's not even like that. I'm watching them look cold. They're just... The way the Loud are approaching this is so refined. Now, first time we're seeing this quite quick B crunch coming in. A little more attention through middle, but you can already see caught up in the trap. Victor can't make it any further. And the utilities invested perfectly. Again, so prepared, Pancada. Perfect work. Crashy's dead and the support system's in place. Rotations come through. Middle is no longer free, but it does get found. FNS denies the support from Sadak. And now you have a 2v3. Maybe still chance in this. Maybe not.
And this is exactly the sort of round I was talking about, right? Where actually Loud are able to play both sides of the coin, right? They're aggressive in mid-time and time again. The one round where we see Optic switch up, try and achieve this split through B, and they're sitting so deep, they're just ready to absorb it. And all this utility, it's choreographed. They know as soon as contact comes through, what to invest where. And Optic, they don't even get a chance to find a gunfight. And there's nothing that Optic can say, all right, cool, let's swing the guy on ladder, let's swing the guy backside.
And the juxtaposition of what you just saw on screen, Sassy and FNS. FNS, I'm sure this is the most frustrating game to play as an in-game leader right now, as someone trying to lead the way. Obviously with Chet there as well, but you are having no room. You feel red. You feel like your absolute strat book is just open on their table.
And round 12 now. Yeah. There's a walk up mid here, but look at Loud. How Loud have adjusted now? It's almost in anticipation of now giving up this space and allowing Optic to have it. They're like, okay, what are you going to do with it?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Victor needs it. Get Sassy down. That's something. That's an operator found. Not bad. He finds the other as well, but on the receiving end this time, Aspas removes that from the clutch, and now already a 4v3. Unless he's still on this site. He's got support from CT. Pancada there to help the cross if he needs it. They're so aware of what Optic want to achieve. Now this time Pancada won't have that utility to depend upon. Nice little jump spot from Crashies to note the position. Now he's got Ye by his side. Pancada's still going to try and buy the time. As soon as you step towards the site, Les is there. Now it's just Les here though. Could be in trouble. Support sitting towards CT. And look at that. Aspas is on it today. And it's all marved. 1v3. What do you got for us? One knife in the pocket. That's what he's got to play with. Spots one and it's over. It's done with. Mike, this has been a blowout, but what a beautiful way tactically to look at a team coming in prepped here.
Absolutely textbook. Again, the adjustment at the end of this half was beautiful to see from Loud.
I think we just need to leave it there, leave it to the desk to break down.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypok. This is just brutal.
What's there to talk about?
It's just not fun.
This speaks for itself. I don't need to do anything here.
I feel really uncomfortable. You ever just like see something like really awkward and you're just like, oh, that makes me not feel good? Yeah, that half was not feeling good, especially when you factor in just what we expected going into this grudge match. This just feels like a beatdown.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the positives, which is entirely on the side of Loud, let's be honest.
Sure.
Seth, Aspas, he's really showing up here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest struggles that Optic are having right now is that they cannot track this guy. They cannot predict where he's going to be positioned round over round. He's got a 5.0 right now on his KDA.
Kills per round.
It's incredible.
Yep.
He's absolutely incredible right now. This is unbelievable. And yeah, he's 14 kills across 12 rounds.
You turned to me halfway through that, I would say quarter into that, and you said everywhere they think he's going to be, he's not there. And suddenly he's somewhere else. And I agree with you. They couldn't get conditioning read. Finesse, every time they thought he might op here, he opted somewhere else. Then he would go halls. Then he might control mid. Then he would push deep mid and have a deep control. You can't be conditioned when the condition upon itself is completely just randomized every single round. I love that. But if we're looking forward into what is to come, this has never happened between both Optic. It's been, last time they went head to head, they dropped 4 defensive rounds between each other. That is ridiculous. Now they've doubled, almost tripled it. That's incredible for the side of Loud.
11's all they get. Anyone?
I mean, you have to be hoping that they can make a DRX-esque run back like we saw earlier. If they can't, then it's done. I mean, they got 6 straight rounds versus Boom when they swapped over to the defender's side. They clearly look more comfortable. We'll have to see if they can do it here.
May I remind you that your casters are Pansy and Hypok, so we're probably going to get OT here, right, guys?
Okay, Yinzu. I mean, the hopium's high.
That's
for that
the hill
right
she
now.
wants to die on.
That's the
Okay,
one.
then.
Come on, dude. Let's have one game go quick. And honestly, this is this
Loud
is your
deserve
weird,
to close
they
this out
do.
clean.
And it's a really weird position to be in, because obviously you want highly competitive games, super contested. But when a team is,
I also want Pearl.
I would really like to see Pearl. For me, I'm happy to see the fact that Loud have adjusted so well. I think if anyone enjoys watching good Valorant, you'll be sitting here going, okay, so this is how you adjust. This is what happens when you get time. This is what happens when you get to pour it over. You're bitter from the losses. You come back in, and this is your chance to prove them wrong, right? Because they've suffered at the hands of Optic. So to come out and have this resounding of a scoreline has got to shake off some of those notes, some of those, the feeling in the pit of your stomach. And for Optic, well, we got a long way back, Mike.
We're actually going to be open here. Crashies was spotted on a jump peak, but this is Loud kind of planting the seed towards Tube. An Orthodox hold initially from Victor and FNS, but have repositioned now. Loud, I'm curious how, or at least what the plan is here. Aspas and Sanak still ever present here in Tube, but just waiting for the peak, it seems. Scanning ahead.
They're pretty close at this point. Crashies gonna have to be a little bit careful. Doesn't want to get
40
caught
seconds
out.
left.
And you're right. They've run down the clock so low here. 35 now. Contact made. FNS with the note of the player. Does have Victor to work off here as well, so certainly not alone. I'm terrified of this timer, but FNS doing really well. Finding Sadak here, and Victor still yet to be noted. Finally shows presence and is gorgeous. Optic holding the line until Loud aren't out of it just yet, but they need to get a wiggle on. Spike needs to fall back into hand. They need to do something mad if they want to try and pull this one off. And I like this work. Bear in mind, you've already just seen the player dip in deep towards shop. Going to fall away from that. Play safety. Play for the post plant if they have to. And is anything going to come through? Les needs it. Ain't going to get it. Marved is there. But I've got to say as well, Victor playing that really well. Not getting ahead of himself. Dipping back in towards Cave and playing super safe. Very well done.
Yeah, I mean, Loud just initially look as if they're unsure how to approach this. Time almost concludes it, right? There's a moment there where the wall is down. Loud could obviously see that, and there's no burster aim, mate. And that's the concerning part. The wall then comes back up. FNS finds this freebie actually on the start of this. The shock dart then comes through, finds the kill. Victor then finds the third. At that point, again, you've got to scramble to recover that round.
You do.
That's on the back of what? Spotting Crashies 15 seconds into the round?
Not much. No, this is a good start. And if anything, this could be just a warm into the game. You don't want to come in cold into map 2 potentially. For Optigo, again, yes, you can say all they get is 11, round by round. We all know the phrases, don't worry, but it is very difficult to come back in and keep it as clean as it needs to be. So we will keep that in mind. When it gets to about 7, 8, then we start considering it. For now, it feels like a formality. They have the purchase here. A little bit of chip damage has been achieved, though, finding Crashies. So, got to be a bit cautious to not fall foul to any other trickery. Pancada, Sassy still have those sheriffs in hand, so certainly could do some damage.
The problem being, pop the door open, and FNS and Ye are playing so close under Tube that they hear the retreat. Loud, unfortunately, weren't able to retrieve the weapon either. Ye kind of policing that now. At the 50-second mark, Loud has 3. Opt to walk through mid. Whether or not Ye actually going to swing back to it's giving her up. So, I mean, Marv's lined up with a Bulldog, expect him to just be ADS.
Yep.
Hyper-focused.
There it
exactly.
is. Look at the lead.
Hyper-focused.
Not even blinking. Here we go. 4 to
Place your
12,
bets.
man.
I say 2.
1 and done. Okay, yeah, he's there. Save us, Ye! There we go. Yeah, he's got it. 3 in the end. Got a little sweaty palms. Yeah? No.
Marv was just baiting Ye in, it's fine.
What a teammate.
Yeah, just trying to farm the Tour de Force.
It's crazy you don't do that for me. I don't know, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
11 to 3 though. Again, first big challenge will be coming into this round. So you can see the rifles come through. This is and it's just a multitude of tests when you're looking at these sort of scorelines. It is just simply, okay, here's the next hurdle. This is the first big one. They got past the pistol. Fantastic. Now, the first buy comes in. Rifles are out. Nothing really to know ult-wise. Nothing beyond that. But let's see what comes through here for Loud.
We still look at this point, though, that Optic have
Finesse.
to convert theirs.
Finesse,
Yay.
when walkabouts, he just found from 1-1 trade out, leaves Victor on an island. Support, I guess, towards stairs in the form of Crash. But even still, Victor needs to deliver, and he's doing just that. Yay by his side. And it's less than Pancada with a mountain to climb themselves. Spike, irrelevant almost to the outcome, it feels like. And uh-oh, maybe not, because Les just found 2 out of nowhere. Ult comes in, Yay still the safest pair of hands, and Les needs to deliver. 2 players, he ain't gonna get it. 2 still stand. Rifle can be upgraded here as well for Marved, I'm pretty sure. Yep, oh, no.
That's
Yeah.
what we want.
Nice, got it. 2 stay alive, but there's the first big threat, Mike.
That's the one. I mean, yeah, 2 rifles brought across into that. Optic need a buffer to the finances. So this almost needs to be flawless in my eyes. They need to keep this and get the ball rolling. In terms of building early momentum, this is the one now that has to be clean.
Speaking of getting the ball rolling, Yay suddenly waking up here, already on 10. Now, some of those, hey, it's Eco Cobra, but you take them, it's confidence, it's starting to feel out the game a bit more, and obviously building towards his ult, more importantly here. So,
Well,
again,
when we talk about the finance as well, that's a key factor, getting the tour de force online, giving him that buy in hand, basically.
now, coming back through Loud's purchase here, nothing completely to sneer at, but it is still pretty light. So, let's see how clean Optic can keep this, because Ewa said it quite clearly. This has to be smooth sailing, and it ain't. Already losing out on Yay. That's a rifle dropped and recoverable, bear in mind. Now, of course, FNS could potentially try and fill that gap. Oh, no. Yeah, FNS fills the gap at least towards middle, but there's still layers to this. There are layers on top of layers. Pancada closing in, and it feels inevitable. The hunter becomes the hunted, but turns around. Gets to keep his life for a second longer. Plant now in. Loud making mountains out of this molehill. Sassy and Pancada neither got the rifles, though. And this, ooh, it's whiffy, but it's enough to buy a little bit of time here. That's job done towards Sassy, and they note the final player. This is 41 HP and not much more. So, again, they should be fine. Diffuse going to come through. I don't see anything that Pancada can do here. No. 3 stand. It's not the cleanest, Mike, but they'll take it.
I mean, Yay down at 350 as well. I'm not even sure how it's going to land things. Just looking at the money, yeah, they're not really going to have a big cushion to build upon here. The tour de force comes through, yes, but...
Second hurdle, Mike. Yeah, and this is the one that Loud pulled the plug on.
I mean, I start getting worried. Another buy round is when I start getting worried. Yes, we're talking about the difference between 11-6 and potentially, you know...
Sure.
But this is the one for me. Whether or not actually Loud come out of this, because it's been fairly passive, right? I mean, even there, that was the most aggressive peak we've seen on the side of Aspas, and any real commitment behind that to get towards B site, and a little bit of value, with a little bit of success. So whether or not we do see a total pace change here coming out of Loud.
And they have the ability to do that. They're still within that little bit of play that they get, where they can pull out something a little bit more risque, maybe something they wouldn't obviously want to depend upon every round, but they could throw that curveball off the back of the timeout. Certainly a very viable look. But on the other side, for Optic, it's starting to take the right steps. It's starting to form into something. Ult's coming through. Economy, not super robust, but starting to get towards it. And I'd say 7 for me is always the marker where I start paying attention. 7 to 8, somewhere around that, depending on how the money's sitting and how the rest of the economy is going to kind of fold down. But
This round gives them 7 in my eyes.
it should do.
So
right? This could be the gateway round, and it's why there's a timeout now for Loud, because they know that. Because 7 starts to give you that real, genuine opportunity. Let's see if they can get past this hurdle, though. 11 to 5, we go back in. Optic looking very good on this. It's been precarious, but it has been job done. So we dive back in. Let's see what Loud have cooked up for us in the timeout. What have they come into this with? Initially, just going to try and ward Yay away.
Actually, the knife got dealt with there. Didn't actually suppress Yay, so he's unnoted. Unless it was a headhunter and they hear that sound cue, but it's a heavy stack outside B here from Loud. Actually, he's going to be tasked with dealing with this.
Oh, yeah, he's got a chance at it. Lets one pass. The flash comes in, tries to count the timing, just pulls the trigger. Had nothing else to do with it, but there he is, finally back in the fight. Victor did well to find the first. Gets himself a second, and the lockdown between the two of them. It's just beautiful work. Don't need to overcook it. They've got each other, and that is perfect. Huge impact work between the two of them.
And this is Yay nearly getting caught off there. When I see the flash come through, if I don't see this TP, there's always a chance, right?
Yeah.
You get that, just that moment where a headshot can be landed as Yay tries to TP out, but perfect. It's clinical. The way they dissect this execution.
Really
So well played from Victor and Yay. Again, the timing of both of these peaks as well. This is with Yay almost backpedaling him, right? TP's away, has to actually swing a pretty awkward angle.
It's not
you know they're barreling through main.
Yeah, that was really nice synergy between the two. Now we go again. Now we noted the money would have been depleted. Now this purchase has a little bit of more bite to it, considering you do have Aspas on the ult, so that could be a bit of an element to keep in mind, but What does Optic do now? They need to keep composed here. Can't get rattled by this. They know the opportunity they've been given now. And we just see them hitting the brakes. And the same can be said for Loud, though. Looking for chance, maybe looking for a little bit of space for Aspas. No one giving them any early shots in this.
I mean, I know this is technically an eco Bladestorm, all things considered, but it just seems so passive from Loud. Where's that decisiveness we saw in the first half?
Putting a lot of weight on Aspas' shoulder to make value out of this. Trap's still in place, though. I don't know how he's going to get past here unnoted.
Does have the cloud burst, but again, it's going to give away the sound cue anyway.
There it is. So decides to deal with it. Knife comes in, and well, yeah, Aspas down to a classic. So he's going to lose a little bit of that validity to this round. And Ye all too seemingly aware of this attention that could come through on double door. Now, when does he check back? Because they've already crept through. There's the pixel noted. There's the player dropped. Sassy's gone. Check towards main. Sees the player diving out towards side. Aspas, good for it though. Quick trade. Bomb! Brilliant play to fill the void and make sure none of those threats came through. FNS to round it out. 3 still stand. And Optic are starting to push this game.
Getting a little bit worried, not gonna lie, because these rounds, like I said, they are passive, lacking a little decisiveness we saw in the first half, which was so prominent. I mean, they ran away with the first half. Optic didn't get a chance to take gunfights. Now, it's just ship walking up, hoping for, you know, favorable contact. There's none of this kind of complementary angles we were seeing on the defensive half. They're not getting themselves into a position to really pressure Optic at all.
No, Sadak does have ult, Pancada as well, so I am keeping that in mind, that maybe they could be influential to this, but again, attention, so much attention put towards trying to get that tube control early on.
But 1:30 on the clock, how long does it take to actually build off this tube progress? That's the question I've got, because we've seen it a couple of times now. It's not even going to end up on
They're
A.
not going for it.
Aspas is just here to try and backstab this rotation, potentially.
Maybe noting the stack of players, potentially, in the previous rounds. There has been 3 kind of lingering on this side, so potentially not a bad read. So we look towards Victor and Marv. All going to come through, so now they know what's up. Victor needs to turn attention to this. Worried about middle, but commits towards main. Looks for the first players forward and they start stepping. Already he's gone down. That's not good. Marv now sweating bullets. He's gone. Sadak breaks in. And now the rotation's going to get cut off. That's the presence. Backed away from that. They're going to note it, but still, look at the amount of bodies on the side here. This would need a miracle. This needs some heavy impact, some heavy lifting from one of them, or it's going to be clean. First for FNS, not bad. The follow-up for Crashies. It ain't over yet. 3v3 now. There's still opportunity here. The ult invested to try and secure this plant.
FNS is here so quickly as well. If you can dig out Pancada, if Pancada just slips out of this Viper's net. I thought he was just going to back into that corner there, but...
Oh, that's not bad. They're going to force him to move. Trying to just limit the areas that are available. They need to get a move on now, Mike, though. They don't have the time for this. Pancada just going to spray in through this one. It's all down to Ye. A 1v3, and it ain't looking good. They've done the timing on him. There it is. Beautiful from Loud. 12 on the board, but it took so much to get there.
Again, they had to stack up this execution on the back of just planting Aspas in tube. Maybe this is better. I mean, for it to take 7 or 8 rounds conditioning, whatever you want to call it, but just initially, at least there's a plan behind what this early round equates to. There's a plan behind it. Unfortunately, I mean, Optic actually have a great read, I think, on what Loud are going to do here. It's unfortunate Victor falls here on the back of the reveal. Again, I'm not sure what whether Marv's throwing a flash through, a nade through, or anything, but I mean, if Victor doesn't fall there, FNS is playing the other side, and they have a perfect wall to cut off that entrance. So, really interested to see, actually, what would have been the outcome otherwise.
So, timeout for Optic now hitting. Going to try and really mull over the last couple of options. Obviously, a lot of ultimates were burnt up then for Loud, and every of the other traditional rounds had been very favorable towards Optic. Still have Sassy's Hunter's Fury in pocket for Loud that they could bring into play if they do believe as such they need it. FNS has his though, so Viper's Pit there. And the Knife of Victor if necessary, but as it stands, I don't know whether they follow this up, but I am seeing a double operator come out for Optic if they fancy a bit of that. I mean, why not? Who am I to judge? But this isn't enough yet from Loud to kind of get me back on track, but it was the first time we've seen them work with real intent, I feel, kind of working off everything they've been building in those rounds coming up to this.
First time you see them lean back towards solid fundamentals and an actual, you know, commitment as a team unit, right? And that's the thing, it's kind of been 2 or 3, sometimes even 4 or 5 different things going on at the same time for Loud in that early default. and never achieving anything off it. Like I said, there was no pressure. They weren't really drawing any U2 out. They weren't really identifying where any players on the side of Optic were playing anyway. The early Viper's pit here popped outside A.
Risque for Victor. Wants to potentially have that.
Wants to make use of this. Actually, the Spike's going to spot it.
Okay, it's going to be dealt with. But Les was considering even pushing up on this one, but it's Aspas to find Marved. And now that's a problem. That cracks open the map right up the guts here. Crashies, though. Oh, they are willing to dance with danger. Victor has no idea. Victor has no idea. Oh my god, how's he got his life still? Mike, what on earth is this round? It feels so precarious. Victor, you gotta be kidding me. Some of these shots coming through, and yay! Just send them bullets down, find Sadak. They put him down to 3.
Initially, this looks like the perfect read from Loud. They're anticipating this aggression on the back of the timeout. Equipped for it, Victor doesn't get punished, and then finds a freebie through the cyber cage.
Miraculously
Like,
got to keep his life there. Let alone the kill to follow. Where do they go now? 3 of them remaining, maybe eyeing up that B site, but it's Ye waiting. Operator still in play. When does he check towards main, though?
30 seconds
The timing
left.
window.
He's double scoped.
Oh, yeah, you're a lucky boy. Deals with the outer and slips slightly deeper towards the site. They're still coming his way. Rotations, not quite there just yet. First one going to make it towards the site is Victor. And actually, it's Victor to save him once again. This could be a huge round for Victor. Outdone. Les is there. 10 seconds now. Spike towards the site. Is it making the cross? It has. Spike plant going to go down. Nothing to deny it. Crashies has a couple of shock darts, but the plant is in. We're in the post plant. And now the time limit is against Optic. Oh.
Crashy spotted on the top here. And FNS was noted because of the trap wire.
They know both. And Aspas has such a dirty angle to play with here. FNS, the shot goes astray. Les is his chance to strike, though. 3 this round as FNS called upon. Spots the first. He needs this fight, and he needs it now. He needed it 10 seconds ago. He's not being given the chances. He's looking for the crossfire. He's got the fight. He takes the first. And time. He's got a couple of seconds to play with here, but he's got to find him fast. And Aspas, that operator in hand, 12 on the board. Surely this doesn't even happen for him. It's going to be halfway. He's going to try and do what he can. It feels inevitable. Loud finally convert through, but 13-7. Denying the comeback for crawling over the finish line.
Yeah, kicking and screaming. It felt like, because that was such a comfortable first half, right? I was talking about even just fundamentally, you look at the minimap and see what's happened in the early round. There were so many times Loud were almost just giving away openers, right? The other side of the coin was they weren't actually want to do, right? There's lots of stall here. There's lots of things to kind of split up an execution, maybe isolate, you know, one person dipping forwards a little bit, which obviously with this, we're expecting it to be Victor, right? So it's interesting to see just how Loud play when Optic do decide to kind of toy with the rhythm a little bit. And again, the key thing being that early round, can they get ahead of Victor's timings?
That's the tricky part. Oh, Saucy, you're playing such a precarious game. Dancing with danger in the first couple of seconds. Jay doesn't connect it though, so no harm, no foul. And again, I guess we can extrapolate something from map 1. Confidence builder for Loud. Obviously didn't end on the, you know, the half they probably would have wanted if you're talking about confidence, but still picking up map 1 is pretty critical to this in the fashion they did. They could feel as though maybe they're ready for this one. Let's see how ready they are for this. Oh, sat towards the box. Victor just bullies down Aspas, and absolutely, even with the Prowler coming through, was unfazed by it.
Actually, the follow-up here from Ye. Sassy full, but it's all a little bit of a pump because Optic are making their way back towards A site here. Sadak and Les both find kills, though. I'm going to even things up towards a 3v3. Crashy's going to take a little bit of space towards spawn. See, this is important engagement. Ye going to win out there. Crash is rewarded for the progress. It's just Sadak left standing.
Yeah, and Optic looked super clean on this approach. Really loved what they tried to do in this, and it's worked perfectly. Sadak, how much can you get? 3 players. Hard to carve this into any individual 1v1s.
Well, the FNS is the one that you see him kind of jump peeking here, but now that should be the last time he does that. The fault line going to slow it down anyway. Crash is ready to swing on it. But,
okay.
I mean, he found FNS. He's got to guess that Ye's positioned elsewhere.
Okay, Okay, it's fine. 10 HP is fine, and there was always Ye in the back line. So, no harm, no foul, and that got a little bit, you know, dangerous. But Optic pick up the first, and honestly, the approach looked lovely to that. And even just Victor's consideration of positions was perfect.
Yeah, it was a great read to know that as soon as that Prowler comes through, he actually doesn't even commit to taking that fight towards tower. Hard clears behind the box. And like I said, it was all a little bit of posturing towards B site. Drawn that rotation so quickly. Actually didn't even spot the one-way being set up there, so it's lucky FNS did close that out. Again, that can be a really tricky angle for main to actually find the kill. For next year, and I'll take a little bit pacier here, at least towards Dish in the early round.
Ult's being worked towards, and presence still being held towards Spawn. So for Optic, they have a fair amount of map control here, and looking on the other side, is it just straight up gamble stack? Yeah, I guess just heading over to B, but as we can see, not particularly the correct call as it stands.
I think Sassy was considering showing a little bit of presence there, but it wouldn't have mattered too much. There's so many bodies behind this. Optic will find themselves wide open A site.
Spike planted.
Anybody's going to be able to get their way back through just yet.
Right there.
Let's see if anyone is able to do as such. Play together here. Can they isolate Jay? Bloody hell, quick on the first, but let's lose life. 4 standing for Optic. Good read from FNS, but the timing could be a little off actually. Thought he was considering this, but let's just find him. Again, this is when you do really kind of button things
right?
up. Exactly, you start buttoning things up here. For Optic, can't take too many more risks here. Need to get away from the side, and they have to fight their way out of it. Less trying to catch one in the heels, and actually they lose a lot for this.
It's only Victor left standing. We'll be able to at least upgrade towards a Bulldog, but secondary objective achieved here on the side of Loud. We'll have to see how the purchase actually looking pretty healthy. Actually, 3 rifles come out immediately here. Stinger in the hands of Victor, at least toying with the idea of it.
Does he commit?
The only one that's going to sit a little awkwardly here.
Okay,
Yeah, actually, I mean, all things considered, this is, I mean, there's barely anything left. It's FNS and 1900 that Optic carry out with this purchase.
Straight into things. Again, no sitting back for a second. Victor having to take so much space early on. Sassy forced back towards the top side of the site, but actually denies it. Perfect read. Really nice stopping power on this one. Unsure of any follow-up, but now we'll know no one's there. Aspas going to clear that, and they've at least dealt with the front line now of Optic.
This is key as well, because the one-way goes up here from Pancada. Loud gain nothing on the back of it. Victor's so quick to get ahead of it. Sassy immediately negates that. Aspas, as he doubles down on the advantage, crashes will fall. Optic now in a 3v5.
I do want to see if they're continually going to be able to deal with the front line that comes out from Optic, which has been so deadly. Now it is a 2v4. With the Spike's position being where it is, hard to recover. And Loud all too aware of this. And there it is. Jay's now fallen, so FNS in the 1v4 himself. Tries to do what he can, but he's going to get nothing. Sassy, lovely work there. Just honestly, the kill at the very start to find Victor, I think, was essential to the outcome here.
I'll say that's the threat. When that one-way goes up, it almost indicates to Optic that it's going to be a much closer hold, right? So the fact that Sassy immediately gets out main and then still finds that kill onto Victor as he's coming onto site completely neuters that execution, or at least slows it down initially. Unfortunately, just the spacing behind Victor, nobody able to really capitalize on, you know, identifying where Sassy was actually playing.
And this is where I don't want to particularly even look into it this round too much. Again, considering the purchase for Optic will be very low or on the lower end. How prepared Loud look to deal with this? One of the key components. We have seen other teams handle Optic on Breeze. It's few and far between, but there have been teams in the past. So I'm looking for those kind of key indicators as to who is able to do it.
Immediately, yeah, Sadax let them in the front door. Victor actually the one to swing that with Ye, so they get themselves a 1-for-1 and the plant on the back of that. Seeing here whether or not Optic go hunting here. FNS going to invest the Rolling Thunder. They're looking to get very aggressive.
I mean, this is a lot, isn't it? Surely not going to be able to get the weapons back out. Victor, 1 rifle is all he's got to play with. He's going to do whatever he can with it, though. A toy with time. Get closer! The damage! Almost enough. Aspas still standing, though. And Loud still alive in this. That got way more dangerous than I expected.
Absolutely. I mean, when the Rolling Thunder comes through, it's a perfect use of utility from Sassy to make sure they can't capitalize on that, because it caught two. They were dead to rights.
Okay, 2-2. Just occasional stark reminders of quite good at this map. Quite dangerous at all occasions. Now again, I'm looking at the buy though. I guess Victor's got his ult, so that's not the end of the world, but they'll be fine in this one, Optic, and this is the first big test, the first telling signs here on Fracture of whether or not they are actually fully equipped for this Loud, or was it just a couple of nice rounds, you know, Sassy having good positioning. This is where we can start extrapolating that information, pulling it through. Let's see what they've got for us now.
It's a key round as well, because it's the first round we're going to see less on the operator. No denial of space here. He's going to find his way all the way onto site. Crashes pop the ultimate as well, but unable to find a kill.
I'm waiting to see if this is part of it, trying to let Victor kind of burn himself out at this point, but it will at least facilitate the plant. So Spike now down. Loud gonna have to try and work this one back in. No subtlety to position to try and deny this and spam it out a little. The amount of control they've been given here. This is a huge post plant. Nightfall goes in, and I think the paranoia to follow as well, but on the side, Aspas goes. Can he find any freedom? Flashed up, he won't be able to see for a second. Vision now returned, and oh, the spam! Already catching him just a little bit, and they swing it! Pancada with 3! Victor, Marv, and FNS go down. It's on Crashies and Ye. And where are they positioned? Ye waiting in the smoke himself, and he gets denied! It's all on Crashies! In a 1v3, the defuse cannot be stopped! Pancada! Unbelievable impact.
Beautifully done. It's not even, I think initially there, with the sound cues, they almost just immediately have to commit to this retake, right? They're so overwhelmed by the execution I think they're expecting, right? You look at the scoreboard, you see what's available, you know what's coming when you play versus Optic here on Fracture. But so beautifully coordinated. Even just a little bit of chip damage on the way through makes this harder.
And this is, again, when we looked at key rounds, critical rounds, this was a big one. That ult from Victor, we saw that was almost, not mirrored, it wasn't the perfect example of it, but we've seen them absolutely cook teams with that look. It's so hard to handle. I thought that was on the money, it wasn't. They get a second chance of life, and you're right. This time a little different though. Sadak gets 4, and actually less in a lot of trouble. They're tagged up, but doesn't give it away just yet. Still standing, but Spike now down. You've got to look at the way through here. They're going on the flank. There's a lot of players coming around, and already Optic's so hyper-aware of this. These positions are good for it. Ye's there, but actually they at least best Marv, but Ye's still in such a nuisance of a position to clear.
Yeah, this contact's coming so far away. Victor actually going to catch a headshot here. They're going to be able to close this out. Pancada and Sassy desperate to counter some of this damage. Only one left in the tour de force for Ye, but the time's ticking away, Lauren.
They've got past him. Good underhand flash, though. Les going to get slowed down once he gets towards tower. Trying to close in towards it. All right, guess I'll bring the op out. No worries. And he's going to find it. Crashies deleted. FNS coming back in, trying to be the hero.
Oh, my God.
And Sassy! He's still standing! And he's still defusing!
Oh, my God!
Round.
Daylight robbery that he gets that first half on the defuse. But then comes through and swings around the box perfectly to close it out. That's the third diffuser in a row, Lauren. And this is another wide open site for Optic.
I can't believe they got back to site. I thought it was over that fight between, it was like Ye and Victor down towards underpass.
They're stuck in main for so long.
No way across.
That was ridiculous, and rightfully so. Optic calling the timeout now.
Yeah,
They've got to take
brakes,
a breather after that.
Because their strat, their approach, it's still good. It's getting them on the site, and they even got the first pick. Who was it they found? Sadak, I think, on the way in. So that was it. Okay, we've even done better than the last round. Brilliant. Let's hold that post plant. And once again, Loud showing diligence, Mike. This is getting me kind of, feeling as though Loud are in absolutely the right mindset. And again, look at the ult progress too. That's huge.
Yeah, because this isn't really relying on any set pieces from Loud. No real strats cooked around this.
Oh, you've got to watch this.
Again, this pick comes through. The snap from Sassy is disgusting.
That besting Ye on an angle like that. Tell me you're going to do that every day of the week.
But this one, the tap onto the second there. Nice, got on! Like I said,
yeah,
from right under their noses. What a clutch from Sassy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and what's that? That's 2 4Ks now. I mean, the guy's got 8 kills. It's 2 separate 4Ks.
Straight up clutching out. And again, for Optic, in my mind, they're doing the right thing. They're doing what they can. They're getting on the side. The strats are still working. It's the post plant that Loud has gone, all right, that's where we're going to find it. That's the breathing room we are going to use. They've come in prepped on this.
I'm out of here.
Oh, we got a game on our hands, 4-2. Loud, no slouches, no pushovers this time. They want to turn away those pages that determined their fate before, losing twice in such, honestly, early stages at one point. Bombing out of tournaments to this team.
Look at Sassy here. Both Sassy and Aspas ready for the fast lane to come through from Dish to avoid this trap, right? Actually does back away from it. Oh, well, the reasoning was there, but Victor will find one.
Still?
Sassy answers back, though.
And he just gets a way out. That's not bad. He gets to keep his life.
They don't even get to sight.
Wait, they didn't? I thought they were going to use that as the opportunity to push in. And surely you're questioning this.
I mean, actually, 2 players in ropes. They should hear these steps, actually, but maybe not with the Nightfall invested.
Now they know. They are getting a run on here. FNS, though, quick to this. Going to try and be the man to buy the time and decides to back away. Leaves it to Ye.
Big kill.
Huge kill, but missed the angle. Zadak was ahead of it. Scoped up, looked in, loses. 3v3, post plant again. Will the nightmare repeat? Will tragedy strike 3 times? Horn goes up. Does no Victor. He's gone. Sassy again, influential. But this is the post plant that's problematic.
Oh my god.
Oh, thank God it's behind him. How are you ever going to prepare for this? A shot in the back and now it's all mobbed. A 1v2 and he wants to change it. He wants this round. He ain't going to get it. Sassy again, leading by example.
The guy just can't miss right now.
He doesn't know how to lose, Mike.
The crazy thing as well, FNS, if he stays just half a second longer, you will hear that smoke from Pancada. So the timing there is absolutely brutal. Look at the timeline though, Lauren. That's the 4th defusal now.
I can't believe this. And the preparation is beautiful. And their composure in these post plants, having to work back in on these retakes. Oh my god. Sassy is snappy. Ooh.
He's looking crispy. He's looking real crispy right now.
This is panic stations. Because
it's getting a little concerning, yeah. I mean, Optic are going to throw something back into this again. A couple of SMGs, rifle in the hands of Ye, but
can they close the gap? Can they get close to this Victor?
Where's he go here from a sting? He has to push something.
And you can see already just keeping distance. He's actually slipped further ahead. This is nice. He's going to have a fair fight to a degree. He's got it. Massive impact. Taking down Aspas, weakens the side, but the hit's elsewhere. Look towards the B side here and left.
Oh, no.
Oh, dude.
What? Let's still hit that.
Huh? Get me that POV right now, please. Now 3 remain. Surely they don't pull it off again. Now, what do they have in this post plant? 2 rifles, the Spectre for FNS, and the Sheriff for Crashy. This game! Okay, split apart by just centimeters. The same horn goes up for Sassy. Not going to find the same players. Already adjusted off the back. Pancada forced away. This is better. Buying precious seconds. And now finally the push. Marv, first challenge, he falls. Second in line, FNS swings it. Now he's in an unfavorable fight. And oh no, the nightmare repeats until Ye drags them kicking and screaming.
It's Sassy though.
But of course it's Sassy. But the 1v1
oh my god. Sassy nearly slipped round the corner as well.
He was that close, mate. That was...
Oh my god. The weapon switch time is just disgusting.
Changes really quite unfair.
And Victor's tracking is on point there for the first like half second.
Couldn't done a thing different. Don't have my glasses on, I can't read it. I'm trying, it's not happened.
I was just saying Loud had I think a 70% post-plant success. I'm not sure about the retake.
Yeah, we need the retake.
I mean, we've already seen him here. Whatever stats, this is ridiculous.
Oh, it goes out of stats when you see in these games. This is why we love repetition when it comes to international games, because they get to come back in like this. And again, straight back into things. Poised. Optic take that first kill. Pancada gone. Now Sassy still standing though. The biggest threat to be known. Underhand flash going to force Aspas away, but Optic peeling back away from this.
Actually, Sadak going to be tasked here. He's only got Judge in hand. Tucked up in towards the backside of tower here. How deep do Optic actually push here? He's actually going to be given the first hit. Oh, he gets a second as well!
The man will not be moved. Finally gets pried out of place. Les, what have you got for us, operator there? Aspas by his side.
I think he hit Crashies. Crashies down to 3 HP.
Oh, he must have. Uh-oh. Surely. Dead to rights. Couldn't turn in time. FNS wants a second and actually goes for himself. Les now given at least step towards the site, but hard to get these positions cleared. The swing on the flash. It's good for Crashies. And Optic clawing this game back, Mike, but it is so dangerous here.
I mean, this is the real test. Can Optic now stabilize? After what we've seen so far, bring it within 1 round now. I mean, Sadak made this interesting. Nearly actually gets away with it. The only thing that his ultimate demise is going for the upgrade.
Okay. Because this was the question I was going to honestly pose to you is, how many times have we seen Optic tested on this side especially? And how deep do they then get to go? Right?
I mean, because it's actually, you unpack that and allowed hard countering the execute. No, there's been a number of different times where on the back of contact, they're just committing to retake. There's no real hard like sight setup to counter that. It's that's what's scary.
Yeah. And it's good reads into
Optic's win condition has always been relying on this, whether or not they get 1 or 2 kills as part of that execution, you know, in the chaos that they're able to create on B site. But I mean, Loud have shown 3 or 4 different perspectives to the retake. Let's add stuff up. He's out of range. Still gets away though.
Just about. And Loud just going to gamble off the back of it. And I don't blame them. You're trying to work with less. You do just have the Sheriffs out, excluding the Tour de Force. But already, nice read from Optic here.
They're very cautious here on the anti-eco. They don't want to give this one away. No. So, crucial that they actually do take contact towards B because once again, similar to that previous eco round from Loud, they do draw the rotation.
Bring them down. Spike planted.
Clearing towards sand, nothing there. I'm just going to spam away from the smoke. Connections off the back, but it's Jay to find Sadak. Rashi's going to commit the ult to this too. This is a big commitment from Optic.
They have to take the rounds they can, to be honest, with how this half has gone.
They've removed less away from the retake, which is completely reasonable of an investment when you do need this much. When there is this much on the line. Optic is going to find Sassy this time, and the 3 remaining players not really getting much of a shout at this. Victor just running rings around him. Pancada going to start closing in, calls in Ye for support, and he's there. So all good in the end. 4 standing, but a big commitment behind, but I feel rightly so.
This one coming in here. It's awkward to see Loud's purchase come in at round 11. See just how they sit behind it. It's going to be awkward. I think that's why we see the timeout, because looking at 2 very different outcomes here based on this one purchase. I mean, Optic come into this. Marv potential to get the orbital strike online. FNS as well for the Rolling Thunder, maybe. You see Loud lean back onto a retake setup with that Nightfall. There's nothing else really to work around here other than the operator, but it's the first time we've seen Les get a little curious, I guess, in the early round to
try and find an early.
But that's concerning. With the number of times Optic have just flipped the switch onto B main as soon as that spawn barrier drops. And I mean, even then, you especially don't want to see him out of range of his TP. He's very, very close to getting punished in the previous.
Yeah, hyper vulnerable. Now, again, if we talk through kind of who's having impact, I think everyone from Optic's doing what they need. Marv's a little quiet, but even outside of that, you know, Victor and Ye doing well here, sitting towards double digits. A little bit different from that, I guess, first half in map 1, where it was very quiet throughout. So good to see them heating into this game. But 5-5, let's kind of, you know, remove almost what we've seen so far. Let's just purely expectations, seeing this map coming in second, you know, position here. Is this closer than you expected by a large margin? Is this about on the money? Where does this sit for you, considering your expectations coming into today?
I mean, in terms of expectations, the one question I asked was, were Loud going to bring anything particularly different when we take into account the previous kind of faces off on Fracture between these 2 teams? So far, it's an absolute tick in the box for me. And again, even to be here on their defensive side, go 5-5 and potential actually to close through, but we hold that thought once again. It's the same carbon copy, but Sadak this time sponges it.
Oh, and they seem so aware. This is that preparation, man. You're seeing it just picture perfect.
Well, this is another setup. It's a completely different setup. This time around, they're happy to dig their heels in. Stop them getting this free site access.
Because we hadn't seen that initial fight, right? Nope. We hadn't seen that Judge positioned here. Now, again, it looks like Sassy's going to be deleted by FNS, but there's layers to it. There's a next contingent in mind. And Ye's done some damage in the past. I don't feel as though this is the round to be doing it again, but hey. Won't doubt the devil until the round's done, but
looking for 4 to stay standing though for Loud. That's the key thing. We looked at the economy beforehand. Pancada.
That's 4 alive.
Just ahead of the headhunter coming out as well, so.
God. I'm so
Last
impressed with
round
Loud's
before
adjustment.
the switch.
I really am, because, and this, people are like, oh, why are you hyping up Loud? Because Optic are so damn good at this. Very few teams can hold the accolade of looking so prepared against these hits.
Bear in mind, I mean, Loud's retake success percentage sits around 40% usually.
So
on
it's not
Fracture.
even-
So to see this against a team like Optic that we know are very proficient on the attack here,
Sure.
it's a real joy to watch.
Yeah, what a treat.
What's it? Is this a setup for an early exec?
You want to
or
play? Let's
3 over
play.
towards arcade here?
Looking to see where this lands. I mean, Victor can see nothing. And he's
Moving
dead. Okay.
in darkness.
Absolutely zero vision. Look at this utility pour. Absolutely smothering them. Nothing to do in this. They're down to 2 already.
What is going
How?
on?
You know when they post the memes of like, this is what Valorant looks like? Just skip this round. Please don't do it to us, man. Reddit, just move on, all right? Crashies and Yay finally get vision back. They're like, oh, this is what the map looks like. Fantastic. We might have a shot at this now, but 4 against them, and they've been given space towards that A site, so they could get themselves into a post plant. I want to see where Yay gets to.
They've got to play this a little bit aggressively.
Oh, the timing.
Spike
She's so
planted.
vulnerable. But there it is. That's what you needed. He plays ahead of the timing. Finds less, but there's a player close by, and he's still doing this. He has to be the protagonist in this story.
Zadak
This
reloading.
round,
What?
Zadak completely unaware. And Yay, this 3. He could be on for the ace if he gets the timing right. He knows it. He reads it like a book. Yay is an animal in these moments. Just one more, and it looks so good with Yay doing this.
Of course, that's the way this half closes out, with Yay picking up an ace.
Switching sides.
Played to perfection as well, flipping that 2v4. We were just talking about the retake success. Yay just absolutely smacks away any possibility. Zadak, yeah, I'm not sure about the reload here, like, unless he's only got two left in the clip. Really bizarre, but whether or not Yay actually acts upon that sound cue would be really interesting to know.
That's something that we can refine and maybe go over later. For now, we go back to the desk to talk through the first half.
Thank you very much. Guys, Yay, I love that he's showing off, but I do want to look on the side of Loud real quick, because Sassy is also showing off right now.
The man himself has come to play. I know the ball bluff, you know, is something that we always talk about, but I think there's something a little bit more deeper going on here, because I already referenced last time that they played this particular map. They had Zadak pop off, for example. They had the supportive players. Well, he's come into this, and in Masters 2, he had one of the worst clutch rates of any player on his team, and he says, well, I don't need a clutch if I just come in and I absolutely obliterate you all before there's any even clutch situation needs to happen. That's a world-class initiator player.
Yeah, just avoid the clutch situation. Just kill everybody before you can get the spike down, or if they do, then, you know, keep somebody else alive with you. But I mean, he has been incredible. So many rounds where, you know, Optic, they get in, they get that spike down on the ground, and then Sassy just shows up, and he's just like, hello, I'm here to ruin your entire day.
Yeah.
And he just does it. It's been crazy to watch, but the fact that this ends up being a 6-6, I think is actually credit to Optic finding some stability, because it was not looking good for a little while there. We were sitting here, we're like, okay, maybe we're going to get a fast little evening. Maybe we won't get to see Pearl again today. Maybe Loud just take this. This is overall an improvement for Loud since the last time that they played against Optic, because it was 4 rounds picked up on attack, 4 rounds on defense. Now we have to see as they get ready to swap sides.
Well, it's going to be a very, very important pistol as we head into the second half with your casters, Pansy and Hypok.
Yeah, it is certainly a very important pistol, but again, Mike, I think we got excited in this, seeing map 1 go Loud's favor, because we thought, right, well, map 3's Pearl, and we get to have fun there. That's gonna be brilliant. That's not promised anymore at all.
It really isn't. And just to touch back on stats quickly, Loud have an insane post-plant conversion rate on Fractures. So if they can get themselves on, and actually it depends really on how active Optic are going to be. Marved actually peeking ahead of 0 clues or anything here, and completely ripped away from this side.
Just looked like a contact piece. The underhand flash is really good, but couldn't make anything of it. I thought that'd be at least Aspas dead, but he's still standing. Sadak's lower, Pancada lower, and Pancada finding Victor. He's looking for the follow-up, but Ye's the only one really doing the damage until Crashies chimes in. And the 2v3 isn't impossible. But the time's on their side. How is that happened? How did Crashies win that fight? I don't understand. But the HP's been so low. Ye gets picked up on the back lines, and Crashies, knife's still there, but what are you going to do with it? I guess remove less from the equation. That ain't bad.
I mean, he could spray him down with a frenzy hit. Yeah, he's 14 HP, but they're stacked up so close. Less actually finds the headshot.
He's fine.
I mean, I'm waffling away. I'm thinking, yeah, there's no way Marv's jump peeking this on the back of nothing, but immediately ripped away.
Yeah. They won the pistol, Mike. I'm getting nervous. I wanted to cast Pearl. Don't take this away from me.
I mean, I thought it'd see yesterday.
Really? Yeah.
Do you not remember the delete the VOD comment?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. I just... Oh, the balloon bear. Nice. That's made me feel at least a little bit better. 'Cause I was really... we could still get there. We should still get there. This is Optic. It's Fracture. It's totally fine. Maybe. We go back in. Let's look at the buy coming out. Shorties galore, and honestly not much else to write home about here. If Ye can do some damage, that'd be cool, but outside of that,
Them down.
Mike, I'm just waiting for this to be 8 and waiting to see this game then just kind of carry on forward.
Yeah, whether or not Loud are actually gonna... I mean, look how safe they're set up here. They're just sitting very deep towards Bridge on the north side of the map. Optic on the other side of things with 2 shorties in the mix. Don't expect them to go hunting at least. Victor rewarded with an ult orb for free. Yeah, only 4 shots in the headhunter.
I'm getting
Have to see
nervous
here,
for
but
Optic.
yeah, I am. Actually, the Prowler will at least spot 1 member out on site.
Does he get a pixel over this?
Should
yes, he
do,
does.
yep.
What is this? Yay, he never misses those. And Victor's going to try and just dive in. Head first for Halos. He's happy to try and give it up for it, but it's only traded out.
Crashes absolutely lights Pancada up with the shorty, down to 98.
Yeah.
Loud might
30
catch
seconds
timing
left.
here ahead of FNS. Yeah, he's not going to be able to get to site safely.
They've only got classics. Even if he did, it would still just be hoping for that right click or
Yeah,
something to happen. But
I mean, if you get himself on tuck into a corner,
yeah,
there's
maybe,
a chance. But
maybe. But they're navigating the threats well enough. 14 seconds. Plant's going to be going down.
Spike planted.
And now this becomes such an issue. I mean, Crashies does get the Spectre to maybe bring a little bit more pain with, coming back in through Dish, but yeah, this fight somehow makes it almost look reasonable, but does eventually go down. Now we look at what remains. Again, that Shorty's not really going to find too much, but his Crashies maybe do a bit more damage, and well, going to need to know 1, and actually only 1.
Last player standing.
makes it even more awkward now. Well, he's going to try and bait somebody to stay behind and lose their weapon. Smoke going up. Sassy actually swinging ahead of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
with
real
Bridge
life.
standing. I mean, Sassy brings a ghost into this round, so it's not the end of the world, but
Sure.
they build any early momentum on the back of these first 2 rounds. Can Optic stop them in their tracks early on?
Isn't that just the question? Coming into this round, though, it's, you know, when we talk about bonuses, this isn't really a weak round at all. You're still going to have, what, 2 rifles, 1 with Sassy, 1 with Less. You've got the 2 Bulldogs, Pancada and Sadak with theirs, and then the Sheriff with Aspas on the other side. Full rifles, light armor for Ye, but not the end of the world. Let's see what they go for, because you want this to be decisive. Optic would need to put get around on the board, get themselves back into this game. It looks decisive enough at the beginning. Victor going to fall away, give up the control towards Dish, hand that over towards Sassy, who is 1 off his ult, so that could be coming through here.
I see 4 members allowed behind this as well. I know it's just a little poke here, but it's drawing the rotation very early on. Look at where Crashies has gone. And look at the progress through B main. B site's going to be white. Didn't want to see anybody on ropes, so luckily Les is here, but I mean, if Ye finds the kill, Ye just took so much damage there. But both members spotted.
And Ye is the walking wounded, soon to be walking dead. He has to fall away from this, try to keep his life, try and do something. He's gonna, I guess, keep himself standing, and it puts it in Victor's hands now. That's an issue, though. He's gonna be noted pretty early on in this. Has to back away. Again, losing a little bit of this territory. Sadak now teed up for success, potentially. Victor so aware of this, though. Swings the angle correctly and still gets to stay alive. I don't know how he's still standing.
Allowed actually again flip the switch, but Ye should catch one on the backside here. Sadak will fall. B site is open though.
That's like the triple pump. They're back and forth the whole
30 seconds
time.
left.
Okay, they're finally on the site here. So Spike going to go down. They will at least get ahead of this. Nothing can deny the Spike as it stands. No, but look how quick Crashies is to the case. Ye's the one to find Less, and there's the follow-up. Sassy's now gone. They are right out. Optic cleanly working back in. It wasn't pretty at the start, but they've kept up toe for toe.
It's the battle of rotations in this round. It's key that Ye finds this kill on Sadak because he's 4 HP. Has to slip into underpass actually when that initial pressure comes through. But like I said, when both members of Optic are spotted coming out of B main, it's unfortunate that actually Loud have taken the rope. If they could have slipped in through arcade there, it's a much safer plan.
Sure. So I guess Optic have achieved what they needed. This is something that Optic needed to do. It's that kind of, okay, we answer back cleanly enough. Was it 4 standing, I think? I think it was 4 at the end, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3. But it's enough to kind of force correct maybe the confidence here. Because things were starting to get a little shaky in my mind. Seeing Loud turn up this much, if they'd converted that gun round or the bonus into that, that would have been even more disastrous. It's when it starts to spiral. However, we're back in business. Ye's going to have the ult on deck, so that's going to be Tour de Force coming out. That's no problem there. Operator with less. What do we have into this round?
Actually, looking towards both Ye and Les of, they're going to face off here. Ye holding a very passive angle here. It's on site. Marved and Crassy's ready to swing off contact. Actually, a little bit of a poke on both sides here, but nobody wanted to commit either way. Well, these 2 members spotted. Marved does back away. Should see Aspas try and burst on the back of this.
It's a little tentative, but they've actually made it towards the site. Ye going to be forced away. And Aspas bursts in. Marv goes down, and they win the fight towards tower. Sassy finding Crashes opens up so much potential. And there's the cross being watched as well. FNS could no longer slip away with less catching it. Now the plant can go down. They just want to secure everything, make sure that smoke hits into place before they give anything up towards Ye. Who still is potentially influential. The man got an ace not long ago, sitting on 22.
Planted.
That smoke will slow progress by a country mile, and, well, Victor, he ain't wanting to particularly get involved.
No. Again, Ye has a shorty in the back pocket. No reason for him not to stand here and fight, try and make use of the Tour de Force, but looking as if Loud are going to bring 5 through. And what's crucial here is the Prowler comes towards Ye on site, and the amount of pressure towards Marved and Crashes, nobody's there to deal with it for him.
Yeah.
He has to hit the panic button, he has to get out. And the discipline as well, for nobody to swing on the back of the Prowler, even when it latches onto Ye. It's a couple of key moments in this round that meant Optic had to give it up. We'll find the consolation.
Ooh, can he keep his life?
Don't think so. Oh, yeah, he does.
Not bad, okay. Rifle in the pocket, gets to walk away. Happy enough with that. So 2 saving. Good to go forward, but 9-7 now. And yeah, I'm glad to see this just off your replay that you're seeing at home. This is an Optic timeout, and I think Chet feeling probably the way we are as well. A little nervous now seeing that Loud have stabilized here.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking as confident, at least here, with the concerns being in the second half of Breeze, where I don't know if there was just a conscious decision to really switch up how they wanted to approach the second half. At least here, it's structured. They're kind of sticking to at least the intent. There's a lot of commitment behind some of these executions, and they're really well thought through. There's nobody really bursting onto site. We're jump peeking arcade. We're spotting out Marved. We're identifying where Crassy's is. A little bit of a a pause for thought for 2 or 3 seconds, but after that, they just sweep through.
I think this really does kind of tailor into the idea of you learn the most from your losses. And coming into this, I feel Loud have come in with pretty much a game plan in mind from start to finish, and it showed on map 1 a little bit clearer. I think that's fair to say. Map 2, they're keeping up with Optic. They're currently leading the scoreline, but they are keeping up, which is something very impressive in my mind, considering that the losses has been, back to back now for them, and they don't want repeats. They are trying to avoid going out in groups, which it feels like they wouldn't do. But even in the situation, being presented this opponent so early, great to see Loud in this form coming here. So at 9-7, we dive back in. Purchase does come through for Optic. 2 players still going to be on the light armor, but have got the rifle with them and at least the full utility kit.
Once more, we see a heavy focus out towards Dish. This time around, Optic looking to get a little proactive here, take some of this space away. Nobody on the other side of this from the side of Loud, though.
This north-south divide is mad.
Victor actually just going to post up behind the trap. Doesn't want to push any further just yet. You can see the pings coming through, identifying the possibility of presence outside. But I said it before, I don't want to see anybody take that rope all the way back towards Victor. I mean, is the plan here to push his 5 through Arcade? It's looking that way.
There.
Yeah. Seems like that's the case.
Look at the progress elsewhere, though. That's going to reveal so much info.
Okay, guys. So,
Swing it!
Les just steps in! No way are you ever going to be doing that.
Just zero respect.
None. Pure confidence, brimming. Crashies deleted. Victor gone. You're down to 3. And with all that information, all that map control, all that presence from Optic, it boils down to nothing. Marv gets a consolation kill at this point as Ye and FNS already seen Ye forced away. This is unreal stuff. I don't know where they're getting the gall to do this for Loud, but they're doing it right. And now FNS, with it all to do, he's not going to get anything. It's double digits for Loud.
Wow. I mean, to see that as well, yes, there's no flashes on the side of Loud to come through, but again, just that pure confidence swing on the back of the information. At this point, they're kind of faced with it's kind of a dilemma, it's right? Yeah, well, they know we're here. If we can find this kill, even trade 1 for 1, it still benefits us, right? Because they don't know what's happened elsewhere. Optic have pushed all the way through A main, all the way outside of B main. They know there's only 2 spots they can be. It's Dish or Arcade. Loud continuing to slow down the pace. Well, as I say that, now actually a little bit of spring in their step.
And look at this pressure. There's got to be something to quell this confidence, and that will certainly do it. Make you look a little silly here. Just caught up in all the utility. Beautiful investment from Optic, but do they find Victor and open up an avenue maybe? I don't know, but they don't know about these flanks that have been coming. They have no idea that this map control has been taken so often.
Well, adjustment on the trap placement actually here outside A main. And Victor's ahead of it this time around. He sat behind it in the previous round. Loud look as if they still want to counteract these early losses towards B. Yeah, he will be spotted out here. That's how they deal with this. Crash, he's got to come through with a flash or something to help him out. Yeah, TP's to safety though.
And they're still committing. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if anyone rotates or anything, but no. Headstrong. Carter going to get contact, but actually it just snaps to Ye. So Ye's gone down, Crashies falls, but there's the pressure. Victor on the back lines finally comes into effect. They needed that. Sadak standing towards tower, Mars position's dirty. Going to get the benefit of that, but it's Sassy left alive in a 1v3. The first shot, it wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but it's job done. Optic still in this one, Mike, but that felt like a bit of a fumble at the start from Loud there.
Actually, we'll regain an operator out of this Thrifty as well, but look at Loud. Look how they're set up now. Sadak just one away from the Viper's Pit. That will be the full house of ultimates. On the other side of things, Victor FNS and Marved. Who's had a very quiet, I mean, we were saying it a minute ago, what, he's 1-15 and usually the Iceman for this Optic Gaming roster.
Oh, absolutely.
It comes online now when Optic need it. Might be able to tie things up here. Stretch, fracture to its limits in terms of this regulation time here.
Let's play.
Actually seeing, I mean, it'll be a broken by behind this for Loud. A tour de force at least to give it a little bump in the right direction.
Can they find Victor? That's what I'm wondering if Victor even goes walkabouts again, if he dares to kind of go for that play. If they're still willing to try and take the space. Different look here, Sadak. Is this how he's going to plan to get towards the site, potentially? There it is, draws out the ult as well. FNS happy to just get in here. Double check. Ye's clearing house. Ye. Death from above, going to find 2 as well. Waiting for the 3rd, but they can close the gap. Victor wants in. They're going to apply this pressure. Oh, Ye's so quick with it.
Down A.
Fortunate to say the least. FNS gets pressured, but he's fine. Gets to slip away. Handles Sadak with ease. Marv slipping back through from CT, and it's just Pancada. And this has been dealt with. This has been a resounding answer now.
You can see here as well, Crashies just considering the possibility. Pancada's got his ult, so can yoink that spike. But Crashies going to know that he's not on B site. A key reposition here.
30
I think
seconds
Pancada's
left.
banking on that possibility. Now, he was one of the players struggling financially on the side of Loud. Well, no, he does want to hold on to this rifle. At this point, yeah, just going to give it up. So yeah, Sassy the lowest
10 seconds
after
left.
him at 350, so we'll be able to string something together. There will be gaps at least. Optic find their 9th though, and 4 standing on the other side, and that's key when they've had to claw their way back into this half.
So there's 2 ults coming through for Optic there, right? FNS and Marv, I think, invested theirs off the back of the Viper's
they're
Pit
rolling
coming
thunder in the
through.
ult. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Let's have a little watch from Ye's perspective now. Better. He's quite good at this game, isn't he? Bloody hell. And you've got to say, heroic performance from Ye as well.
26 and 12, yeah, the next closest being 12 on Victor.
Yeah, he's been putting in serious work, and you're right. They've been able to kind of scrape together a buy, not particularly a great one. There's still light armor and the Bulldog in place, but it's enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, but it's an awkward time to do it. At this scoreline, this late on in the half, Loud then need an extra round to recover from this forced purchase. Now they have the tools to convert it, right? Nightfall and Showstopper do kind of complement a lesser purchase here, but whether or not we see them invested here.
Aspas.
I have the spike.
Going back around, all of them congregating together towards this B piece. Pancada split from the rest, has 3 clearing over by Arcade.
They're looking to get proactive. To get ahead of it.
It's actually a trade. That's not bad. They'll take that to a degree. They're now somewhat locked out of the side. Do they fight back for this, or do they sit purely for the retake? They're somewhere in between no man's land. They're quick to this one. Flash can come in. The spike's gone down, and Crashies. Oh my word, Crashies! 2 huge kills. Cracks open the site. And now Les is dead, and FNS leading the way back through. Optic are not down, and certainly not out yet.
Textbook. I mean, Crashies, actually, initially they're faced with a dilemma. Like you said, do they sit deep in tower? But the timing on this is perfect. The stun comes through, a beautiful crunch just on the back of utility. We'll tie things up 10 apiece here. Look at this here. The stun perfect, the flash perfect. Les only able to find 1 in response.
And the spacing you hear from FNS to just follow up, there was no time for an answer.
The null command's on it. He can fully bait Crashies there. Crashies, as long as he's still standing, let him keep swinging.
Yep, absolutely. Really nice to see. Great synergy again with the Optic boys. They're finding that perfect spacing between each other. Now Loud get put in the predicament. You noted it. Going for these buys late into the game, when you're having the money put into question, you get left in these scenarios. Sheriff, Spectres, bits and pieces. It's not perfect, and that Nightfall came through, so they've lost out on that, and Optic trying to turn the screws here. It's clean enough. It's going to be just less alive, and the spike is deep by Dish, so not going to be easy to get back into hand.
Well, again, the economy damage, it doesn't count for anything here. This is a tough blow for Loud. Like I said, an extra round to try and recover. It's looking as if Optic are going to find 11. Okay, they want to seal the deal. Actually, you think 2 rounds back, that ultimate advantage they had, unable to just string together 2 more. Down to just the Showstopper, just the TP for Pancada. Actually, only fair to highlight it as well. Aspas having a rough game over on the Rays. We talked about Marv, but on the attacking side.
Certainly a key character to be missing. Yeah, 9 to 18, not quite having the impact. Just as being the Rays as well, a key component taking that space, showing that presence. Be an issue in that regard, but 10 to 11, how much depth do Loud have now? The question that has to come up is looking a little bit discombobulated now, looking a little bit like they're starting to run on fumes here. Not massively. I mean, the economy did get taken away from them. If you look at the string of rounds, though, it's now 4 back-to-back for Optic, starting to really strengthen this half for themselves. I'm curious about the longevity of how much Loud have on this map.
And the problem being is you almost have to lean to, without having these ultimates now to complement it, they have to be clean rounds. Like, they basically have to double break the economy here of Optic, and at this scoreline, it's just such a tall order. Especially the way with Optic. Optic are very disciplined in the early round here. It's not all out aggression.
No, it's quite choreographed, where they're taking space, where they're deciding to go for this. And there's intent behind it, there's good utility invested.
Victor a couple of times, he's been able to slip in and relay a lot of information. It's been key towards that reposition from Optic. So giving FNS the tools in terms of the mid-round to make really, really good decisions. And Optic reaping the benefits.
Absolutely are. Go in. Victor wanted to once again challenge. Aspas has been
He's going deep
cold,
for it as well.
and Victor's challenging. He's got you dead to rights, and the follow-up is divine. Oh, and look at them just shutting this down. It's a bloodbath, and the round barely started.
Right out the timeout. Almost as if Loud are still in that timeout, talking about what to do. In the blink of an eye, 4 kills.
No rest for the wicked here. This is 12 every day of the week. Les is damn good, but he ain't this damn good. And Ye's got your number right now. You step a little further forward. You're dead and gone.
Actually going to be Marv to come through. Get the
Nice.
orbital strike online. Now he knows that, yeah, he can swing less. Finds the first, but like I said, even here, if he comes through and finds a couple more kills, it means nothing when you talk bigger picture.
Unless he gets 4 more kills,
Well,
then, you know, then there's bigger problems.
Don't go near the rope.
Please. Please. Just don't do it.
30 seconds
Might just
left.
turn them green for Optic at this point. Yeah, 20 seconds, he hasn't even got the play much more. Okay, well. Oh! It's not looking good. Splash gets the
Clean.
frag. It's good, yeah. Just clip it just right there.
10 seconds left.
Again, though. Formalities at this point. 3 standing for Optic, and as you said, damage is not the name of the game. That doesn't really matter. It's outside of that realm. It's going to be 12, and you've got to say that once again, depth being shown for Optic. Often probably being stunned on that
Resilience
first half here.
being shown from Optic because, I mean, to come out of the first half with the scoreline we had, to then see how initially this felt as if it was going to start in the second half. Bear in mind, first 5 rounds of the second half, it was 4-1 on the half. So they claw their way back in.
And is there anything left, Loud? Anything left in the tank to get this to 11? Or have you run out of steam? Was this the best you could give here? And that would be completely reasonable. This is a damn hard map against one of the best in the world on it.
Loud have to be so paranoid of any aggression now. They have to be. Because Optic are kind of riding the wave.
Yeah, for sure. Their confidence is brimming. Ult's being built towards 3 to play with here. FNS Marv, yeah, if they feel the pressure, they can just hit that panic button. And there's the contact made. Crashies, who decides to play this here?
Crash is wisely backing away from this now. Desperate not to give away an opener towards B side. But now with Victor in the mix, a 3rd member of Optic Gaming, at least can afford to get a little curious. Look at this, 60 seconds in, we're seeing, I mean, glimpses of what we saw on Breeze in terms of the attack. Previously, the bait is perfect. Yay, rewarded with a kill with the Tour de Force. And set in motion by FNS there.
Yep. A little shoulder peek for Victor. Going to confirm attendance over towards the B site. And there's the call. Aspas, though, slips the net, finds FNS. Does anyone else have the ability to shut this down? I guess Victor's going to be able to watch this, make sure they can't slip any deeper towards CT, but we're getting down to 20 seconds here.
So
Mike,
late in the day.
it is super late. 20 seconds of the ult going to come through just about the time. Crash is going to note the player. 17 seconds out. Do they even get towards the site? Marv dead, say hello, and says goodbye. Sassy still standing, and the plant can be toyed with. Victor on guard duty goes down, and Crash is still trying to buy the time. They do not have the plant down just yet. They're trying to take the fight.
Oh my God.
It's denied. Crashies playing it to the second, and you have to just watch as the clock rots. It's 13 to 10. Optic taking us all the way. 3rd map unlocked.
What a turnaround in this second half from Optic. Again, you saw there's a resilience in the first map to drag it out as long as they did. Here, they're able to seal the deal. What a performance from Ye. Knocking on the door of 30. Just insane.
Good.
Because, no, I'm not doubting either composition, but in terms of the pacing is going to be what's important for me, right?
Sure.
And where we come towards, yes, we can talk about scrims and whatnot, but coming into this live game, the pace change is going to be so key in terms of who wins out.
Okay. Let's find out. We dive right on in. On the attacking side, it will be Loud. Defensive side will be Optic. Map 3 here. Couldn't ask for a better way for this game to go. The double stack towards the cubby. One's going to dip and one's going to stay, but they note Marved.
Dealt with very quickly as well. Aspas just swings onto it, finds the headshot. Now actually build on the back of this now. Actually, the double reveal and Sadak punishes a second. Ye will fall.
Looking real good on this so far. And a note 1 from Connector as well, but actually Crash is going to try and get a little ahead of that. Caution now has to be shown. Surely, flanks handled and Loud look good. 4 standing. Bold B just run down, basically.
And the double stack, interesting as well. It's noted immediately. Typically, this knife is invested close onto the pillar just to make sure that a chamber can't sit in a spot like that and TP away. So interesting to see the decision making here on the pistol round. to even invest behind that. I'll come out on top though. 3 Bulldogs and the Vandal thrown in here for round 2.
Are they scrapping up on B long as well? Trying it again. Back into Cubby boys.
Chuck a third in.
Why not? They kind of have. They're actually just committing to long. This is quite interesting. Now, yeah, he's going to dip away, but it's smart to stick around. To get at least get one down. Zadak removed, and FNS, well, he can't get out of danger. He doesn't have that get out of jail free card. He has to walk the way back, but they've done a fair bit of damage, and yeah, he's still standing. FNS is going to find 1.
3-4 though.
Huge.
A lot of damage done.
Wow. That's ridiculous. That was like a classic. Fair enough.
I expect Loud to maybe just offset this with a couple of pistols. Obviously bringing the Vandal back in, and that Bulldog as well. Interesting stat, actually, yeah, 67% of the time after splitting, Optic come out on top with the 2-1. But again, Pearl, it's, there's no data here. Can't really lean on that stat too much for this series in particular. Loud looking to slow the pace down a little bit now.
Poison's off.
Initial swing out. An interesting placement here for the orb, just at the top of B long. Loud stacked behind the wall for the time being. Yeah, interesting placement for the wall as well. Just cuts off a little bit of decay, and Loud's placement of the poison orb almost negates that. There's no safe opportunity to capitalize on that delay. Couple of decoy smokes coming through, but Ye will be spotted here. Some half to find one from the back lines.
But it's quite interesting to see Optic fighting so much for long control that they've burnt a fair amount of Loud's utility. I quite like this approach, kind of making them invest, just clearing pillar, just clearing towards Cubby. And it does bode well to try and hold on to the site. Removes a little bit of that comfort away, and this is perfect. What a shutdown so far. Optic! Clean work there in response onto the buy here for themselves.
Forcing Loud to explore elsewhere on the map now. Lots of focus put towards B on both sides of the coin. See how Loud actually approaches the first buy round. This is with Ye being spotted pretty early, so if Marv doesn't find that kill, it's going to be a lot of pressure coming through.
I face one. I kill it.
Thank God they're the only one to find a kill.
Right there.
And we see just that. Loud stacked up elsewhere now.
I'll keep them quiet.
He's looking towards Art here. Maybe he's going to try and identify Victor's position, but she avoids it. Aspas revealed, still swings onto it. Oh, sorry, actually. Swing coming on the backside of this. Sassy was there to back him up, but Aspas lucky to get away with his life.
So a totally different look so far. This much mid-presence is something they hadn't seen yet. We've seen a couple of challenges in towards double doors. Went over towards the top, doesn't quite reveal as much as they'd like. So again, still testing the waters on either side, but as you can note, Optic happy to take a fight on this. They're not particularly giving up mid-control or at least any of the avenues from it. Still play a tuck towards pit, kind of on the backside of sight. You're going to have the commitment coming in from Crashy, sitting a little bit deeper towards the A side of things. So this could open up chance towards B, but again, they're not getting any gateway into this.
Well, this is key though. Nothing marked on the knife here. And Loud want to try and slip in behind that as Victor looks back towards main. Luckily though, Crashy's here to pick up the slack.
Now, the horn's going to probably go up there, but it's going to be FNS to find Sassy. And yeah, there's the information. Lovely play by Crash. He's under all that pressure, still keeping composed and finding the information. Underhand flash could not have been better timed. This is lovely from Optic. Just taking space when they need it. This is really well-rounded. Very enjoyable to watch. As Aspas, the last one alive, they've really kept composure throughout this map.
Beautiful mid-round. The checklist just being one by one achieved by Optic, and actually Aspas going to be marked here. Yay, the one to seal the deal. The Prime Gaming flawless here in round 4. Beautifully done. Like I said, just going through the motions. Loud barely achieved anything off this early default, other than dealing with the trap. Like I said, it's actually a key position here from Crash. He's in that connector spot, just to make sure nobody slips through, right?
Remaining.
Actually, even after showing presence, that was so fearful to push towards that side of the map.
I'm so happy we get to see a new map being worked out. Like, and really getting into glimpses of teams and how they're approaching this. It looks like back to business towards B as well. Still happy to commit towards long with Ye. Force them to invest early knives, early prowlers potentially. That gets denied this time. So yeah, he gets to stick around a little longer if he fancies. He does have Marv by his side, but we're seeing what looks like a B crunch at least, maybe a 3-2 split, depending on timing of commitment. But it's Marv to find Sadak. So already removing some of that attention that was going to be drawn towards B long.
Crashy's actually repositioning here, giving
Ratty.
Loud a little bit of space and playing off that perfectly. With Marv playing so
Spike
deep on B
down,
side,
B.
he's there to pick up the slack in Link, making sure Connector doesn't get abused here. Victor gonna spot Aspas's headhunter.
Last player
Swing onto it,
standing.
deals with it.
I've got to say for me as well, Crashies is everywhere at once at the moment. Like his play towards
he
kind of
really
like
is, yeah.
keeping the composure towards, I guess, coming off of art, kind of splitting in towards sight, slipping back a little bit deeper, still finding presence there. Like he's been doing really well to not really give up much of mid because, again, Loud initially like they were kind of testing towards B long a great deal of the times. They're going to put a lot of attention towards it, but adjustment towards mid, he's never overstepped, he's not feeding, he's just keeping really composed here.
That's the thing, Crashies is the one to kind of make sure this trap isn't dealt with. No pressure comes through towards Connector. But if there's no pressure on long, with the A tucked up, Marv can literally play Link. There's no risk coming towards B side. So whether or not Loud will try and leave somebody to play a little later in the round on the back of this mid presence. So somebody has to draw the attention. So the minute they're not having any success towards art, nothing towards double doors, towards Connector, towards Link. Optic just have complementary positions right now.
It's quite impressive to watch, and of course we are in the timeout here for Loud to potentially try and get something going for themselves because it's been a pretty solid response from Optic. Now, ult-wise though, you've got to say it, Marv sitting on his, Ye's got his, Victor has his, FNS 2 away, Crashy's 2 away. They're really starting to hit that stride, both in the economy, sitting beside them money-wise, already on 8k. I mean, they've had the perfect reply here, Mike.
I mean, this is a scary setup when we're coming into round 6. And yes, on the other side of things, like Aspas, Sadak, and Les all one away from their ults, but these are ready off the rip. Loud have to find a couple of kills to get these online, but come back into the buy round. Sassy down on the light shield, no other gaps here. I can see across the scoreboard. We'll see if there's a switch up coming out of this timeout. There's a little bit of focus back towards mid. This time around, actually, the double stack towards a main here. Looks as if
I like this.
an FNS want to get a little aggressive.
And even if they just take up towards kind of the box, they don't have to go much further than this. That's still so much space, so they can kind of fall back away from it. The timing's pretty good. This Prowler should be a little bit of a worry for Crashies. That's been thrown down from early enough by.
Look at
He
Marv
does have support, though.
immediately,
Yeah, it's
Immediately.
perfect. This is really nice synergy to hold this side of the map, to make sure it's not comfortable at all.
Actually, a little bit of a switch up here in terms of the trap placement, so it's going to be committed towards this hold on Link. Actually, Victor going to let the null come out of it. Whether or not they actually force their way into mid and try and challenge here, but it's going to slow the round down massively. Loud again have achieved nothing off this early default.
The counter utility from Optic so far has been highly impressive. Even just the positioning, the conditioning they've been going through, just really keeping their poise here in this. And they're re-exploring late towards A main. Oh, this is heartbreak for Pancada. Surely, actually no. Comes out the better on it. Does eventually fall to FNS, but that's the online. So if he wants to really secure this site, he can. Now, does he hear the steps though? I've noted them. Does go down quickly.
left.
Didn't get to wait in towards the corner fast enough there.
Maybe just misreading it a little bit. Thought the emphasis was going to be towards art, but actually Crashy's going to catch Aspas on
Down
the
A.
cross here. The reveal goes up.
This isn't comfortable.
Not a comfortable plant whatsoever.
Yeah, they've got so many problems. 13 seconds, this is not clean. Sassy gonna isolate Marv. That gives him a little bit of freedom to maybe get the plant. Yay! Somehow gets his feet on the ground and gets the kill. Sassy is given no time, no moment, no breath at all. Crashies. Wow, again, I have to give credit in my mind. Get to Crashies here. This guy is just so composed, so critical to outcome, keeping it pit safe, kind of playing off the back of it, making that plant feel impossible.
And the crazy thing is, 2 ults used, there's 3 available for Optic. Yes,
Yeah.
they'll come in with 4 here, but
They ain't got the
again,
vibe for it.
the only one you think about is the
Enemy
Tour de
remaining.
Force. This collapse
Did I get
on A side
inside
was
your...
beautiful to watch. Again, it's all just complementary angles from Optic. I think actually, now need to address it. If FNS and Victor feel as if they've got a little freedom towards main,
Well,
can't let him run away with that. And Pancada, right as I'm thinking it, does just that.
Crashy's looking to maybe get this kill back. He can sit here if he wants to, in the rattiest spot in the world, be played in off the back of probably a little bit of contact on towards FNS. He falls away, tries to play in crashies. Let's see if they go for this.
Another different look as well from Optic on the defense. Look how deep Marv's seated towards A site as well.
Oh, he's doing walkabout. The timing's good. Yeah, Marv just sitting at the back.
I mean, Crashy should have heard a step there as well.
Surely?
If he can get behind them, the Nightfall will be huge. Les is
The
just
timing
checking
just
it
turned.
now.
Did Les see this? Oh, it doesn't matter, Crash, he's quick to it. And the position's just where he can fall away. He can try and get towards that middle side, maybe use the Nightfall from there if he wants to, try and just support right back around. Because FNS, he's buying time. This is perfect work from him. There's Nightfall coming across. And there's the response. That's so much information off the back of it too. Marv, a dangerous position, but he's going to be just kept safe by time. Time alone is a problem now. The crossfires are just perfectly in place. They can probably clear one, maybe not. Marv still stands. This is unbelievable. There is no entry here. You got to back away 10 seconds. There is no way in.
Should just be a matter of time now. Marv going to find another one. Pancada falls. Aspas will respond, but the clock going to decide this one. What a hold once again from Optic. I mean, you're looking at this here with 30-odd seconds left. The poison orb goes up. There's a snake bite behind it.
Yeah.
Marv's got a star in place.
Wow.
It's so brutal for Loud to just try and force their way onto site. And again, the counter Nightfall, like I said, even if Crashes doesn't get behind him, he plays it in from Art and gets exactly the same information. This is after Loud get a freebie in terms of the first blood as well.
And I genuinely thought Marv was dead here. Again, the support system around him is great, though. This is really nice to watch. The synergy starting to show for Optic and Loud. I mean, it's been pretty rough so far. That was probably getting the first pick there was probably the best start they'd had in a moment's time. Let's see what they go for now. A little bit of a pace change. Aspas wants to address middle quickly, look towards Art, see if he can maybe get a little bit of control. But we noted a couple of rounds here that Optic kind of switch it up every now and then, sitting deep on occasion. Life gets denied.
Look how deep Loud have to go exploring to try and find contact as well here. Big stacked up, but Aspas actually gets the better of him here. That'll be the green light towards A, but...
Do they backfill?
Interesting here, because Ye and Crashes have come so early, and Loud haven't committed just yet.
Bring them down.
Look at the minimap now, there's a huge gap.
Oh, no man's land, Aspas. At the angle, it crashes unaware. There's the pop of the ult as well, should really complement this, but he's still off to the left, two on towards the back. They're still on the right place for this hit to be coming in. Let's see what he can do with this one. FNS still on site though. That's for Ye! That's 1-2, and the third for Ye! Oh, they line up for him! Oh, but they just about get out of there. I mean, the numbers favoring Loud substantially, and thankfully, they keep them standing.
And again, just another half second here. If Optic are able to sit a little deeper on A site, allowing Ye to actually pull presence back towards Connector, back towards Art, sorry. That could have been lethal. 5-3, we find ourselves now. Optic are doing a really good job though. Just creating pressure in terms of how Loud have to dig.
Standing.
Beautiful, just lines 3 up. They're not even sure who fell on site there, but again, no chance for them to actually run the clock down anymore there. Loud once more. I was going to say, we're drifting towards Art, but looks as if they want to set their sights on Connector now. Trying to isolate Ye, who is the solo player on B site here. No rotation coming through just yet either, so could be a little concerning here, but Loud are cautious in approach.
Again, Marv can swing through CT if he wants to. There's a lot of pressure on Crashes. Yeah, okay, so he's going to kind of fill the void. They're going to force them back to somewhat of a default, so this is quite good. Loud maybe trying to condition this a little bit, forcing them to less of that stack towards A if they do want to explore towards it, but it takes so much commitment to get them to do this. There's still so much more to take through. Sassy testing the waters constantly, just trying to spam in towards Art. Does not really get the connection he wants.
But look at it though.
30 seconds, where'd you go?
Yeah, they haven't really got progress towards either side, and no real notable damage or information on what the setup is here for Optic. And they're drifting towards the triple stack once again.
It's just going to be a pop, flash, and go. And considering the positioning, it's not been a problem. Victor just gets out swung on. Still going to find Sadak, but the trade comes in for Saucy. Crashy's going to try and isolate one on the back lines, but it's FNS on his own, sitting towards pit. The spike's on the way, but it's 12 seconds. Okay, Crashy's completely unawares of the possibility, and he's just going to spam it. Oh, he's denied the plant! Oh my word, FNS!
Spike down.
At the time,
round done.
he's done it! The singular frag comes in for FNS, and that's all it takes at times. Unbelievable, holding onto the rifle as well at the end. Loud will be kicking themselves.
These defensive protocols from Optic, like I said, are forcing Loud to play this slow, play this passive, dig so deep to find any information, and they're unable to act upon it. Like I said, 30 seconds comes through, they're drifting slowly towards the site that still has 3 Optic players in it. And thank God with the last couple of bullets, FNS finds that wallbang. This is really impressive from Optic on the defense here. I'm wondering where the pace change comes from Loud. So they need to step it up a little bit. There are opportunities, but they haven't learned enough from these rounds they've lost so far to really act upon it. And now Optic are they're getting funky with it. They're walking mid. There's 2 people out already.
Uh-oh. Well, this timing is going to be interesting. There's no subtlety. These steps are pretty loud. And we're going to see the check back towards Jay. Now, he hadn't been tested in a while, so maybe cooled off a little bit here, but the utility invested, he's got to be absolutely itching to pull the trigger. There it is, the reveal. How? How is Sadak alive? Tell me that, but he's still standing, still breathing. And well, as Pastor Session, the spray is just gorgeous from Crashies. And Loud is struggling to find impact, Mike.
They really are. Struggling to find
Bloody
any success
hell.
at all. Crashies finds another Marv. Finds one as well. Penkala, the last man standing. And there's very few positives to take away from this half. If you're a Loud fan, as if Optic going to find
30
a
seconds
flawless
left.
here in round 10. And you look at the money, there's not going to be a buy behind this.
No. And I think this boils back down to what you were saying even in the previous round, is that Loud have been, I don't want to say close in a couple of rounds, but they haven't been able to get the information. They haven't been able to kind of work out the rotation times, who can they punish, what has been the tell on us so far, because it does seem as though they are in the right place constantly at the right time. They just haven't had that breakthrough moment, it feels.
They haven't even had a couple of rounds where they say, right, we identified where Crashies is playing in round, what, 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Let's try and address that now. Let's see what's happening once we actually push through double doors, deal with this trap. They're kind of pushing, prodding, probing, and then it comes to the buy rounds, and there's no real plan formulated around any of this information. I hate to say it, it's feeling a little bit like that Breeze attack, second half.
Yep.
A little lost for answers. They achieve nothing on the back of this early default that I feel like they sit in for circa 60 seconds.
I am with you.
Considering how deep Optic are playing, it's brutal for them. They're trying to pull the attention, and again, Optic can then flip the switch. We saw it in the previous round. They can start going aggressive middle. They are toying with the tempo, and it's really hard to read for Loud. But now they see a little bit deeper. Kind of more standard to a degree, but it's still a triple stack towards Art. No one sacked towards the other side by double doors. Look how far Ye is away from the rest of his team. Again.
He's felt no pressure for like 5 rounds.
The pop flash is good, but Victor keeps his cool here, Mike. And it's going to be light work for him. Yeah, he just absolutely unfazed by this now. He didn't know the players behind on the knife, but Victor is just the immovable object. They've got a weaker buy, don't get me wrong, but again, the information, Crashies laying on thick now. There's no escaping this.
Player standing.
Actually, Pancata does get caught by that C's as well. Which will be noted. Find the first, the flash is good. Victor comes through, finds the fourth. Optic in their element right now.
In the half.
On the brink of a 9-3 half, you've got to feel even, yes, it's a buy coming in for Loud, but with the way the buy rounds have gone, you don't feel confident about Loud in it.
No, because we've got to put it into context, excuse me. The rounds that are sitting with Loud, well, 2 of them were the pistol in the second. So again, that adds to the worry, that adds to the context of this, that it's not just, okay, well, let's say they lost the pistol and they ran through and they got a couple of close rifle rounds, that's different.
The timeline as well, there's 3 rounds that are just decided by the clock.
Yeah.
And that's really concerning to see. Loud back on this B-long push early on. Nothing revealed on the knife here, but said, yeah, he's not felt any pressure. And previously, him and Marv have been able to hold this down.
Okay, so
They eat a ton of damage there with the wallbang, though.
Maybe working out that Ye's been pretty much left alone these entire rounds. Maybe trying to get a couple of players to dedicate themselves towards be a little bit deeper, see if they can punish this deeper hold from Crashies. But you're never alone, man. Optic, you can see it. Like, Victor's right by his side. Instantly turn attention, ready to commit the utility towards long. The horn goes up,
Great
sees
util as
nothing.
well, by the way.
Sees nothing. There's a flash so they can swing from the back. Marv now noted.
Beautiful.
Mike, this is really nice to watch.
Confirmed on the back of it as well, and you see immediately Optic readjust. They're headed back towards A site. Crashies has total control of mid. Now, if you can find the backstab on Aspas, that will be huge.
Here, poison's off.
And FNS has been the safest pair of hands, man.
Still 2 snake bites.
Time. Marv's gonna find Sadak.
30 seconds left.
Flashes depleted, gone from that. Victor, under a little bit of strain, but taking all the attention. FNS yet to be checked upon. FNS is just standing and delivering 2 huge kills. There's the snake bite to buy more time, and it's disastrous for Loud. Heartbreak for sure. 10 seconds and the clock's just starting to rot. 4 more players to get past, and they can try as they might. But they might just play the clock, and they don't. They play the player 9-3. This has been a clinic from Optic.
An absolute masterclass. And this wall, once again, it's almost conditioned of whether or not Optic are going to take, you know, control of A main, or just have somebody tucked into that ratty spot. And finally in this half, FNS makes use of this pocket created right here. The wall drops, is rewarded. Les and Aspas just left wide open for the taking.
Just for me, that information play they came up with there, just a late, you know, check towards long. Oh, there's so much to break down, so let's hand it back over to the desk to quickly do that for you.
Thank you very much, Pansy and Hypog. We didn't want Optic to have another slow start, and they've answered our prayers, Jess. This is the Optic we know and love.
You know what I felt after that half? I was like, this is what it's like to watch 2 teams just go fundamentally raw head-to-head. None of this countering, none of this, because there's nothing to counter just yet. It's reads, it's reactions, being proactive and reactive. And at its core, and its most rawest level, Optic is just better at almost every single fundamental level. I know it's defensive side, but there is a singular man who stepped up in that half that we kind of begged to step up, Marved. He had an absolute half to himself, and I think that that is the kind of player that after 2 slow maps, Kilios, at least he just shrugged it off and just went, okay, new map, new me.
I mean, kind of call it what it was. It was abysmal for Marv at the beginning, especially on that first map of Breeze. He was widely absent. He's somebody who is typically touted as one of the best, if not the best player on this roster alongside Ye because of what he offers to the team, but he has looked absolutely incredible for the squad right now. And for the side of Loud, it's just kind of been only Pancata this entire time. We haven't been seeing nearly as much impact from everybody else on this lineup. And one of the biggest things that stood up to me right now for Loud is just, you're talking about fundamentals and whatnot. The lack of them.
Sure.
There's so many times where they're going in for a plant, they're not clearing corners, they're not checking that cubby as soon as they enter into the A site. They're going for a plant with no time remaining, not even checking to see if there's somebody sat in dugout. It's just weird to see that they're not clearing these positions, and they are time and time again getting punished for it.
I'm hoping coming into the second half that it's just Loud having to put up with the defensive sidedness that Optic is well known for. Maybe things change up here. We've seen a 9-3 already. I'm willing to see another.
Yeah, it's not over just yet. I'm going to pitch this back to Pansy and Hypog to see which team's going to be making it out of this group.
Oh, that is a tough question. Who is making it forward? I don't know. I don't want to call it yet, but from what we've seen... all right.
I was going to cut you off right there.
Wow, Mike. Real nice. You're not probably wrong. At 9-3, it would be a disservice to the performance Optic have put in to deny them this so far, because it has been very clear-cut. Now, we have seen some one-sided halves, though, Mike, so I'm not going to call it just yet.
Fair point. Yeah, it will be interesting to see Optic's approach now to the attack with how confident they've got to feel after the defensive half. And initially, let's say a Poison Orb invested here, and there's only one member of Loud actually holding down the fort. Ye going to be rewarded for his patience elsewhere. Sadak was hunting outside Art.
But not necessarily a misread, but they could fall into a bit of a trap here to the
They
degree
could,
of the stack that is towards this A side still. And the position that's coming in from Aspas as well. Note that on the minimap now as they do win the fight on the way towards the site. He has to slip away. But do they commit? They're so aware there's a flank potentially coming in. I like this from Optic. Hit the brakes for a second. Consider any of the other pushes coming in. And for Loud, that kind of just buys a couple more seconds for consideration here.
Where Crashes has got to, though. You might even catch Sassy all the way in spawn. And that's the green light.
Well, I
Optic step it up a little bit and they'll find the plant here, Lauren.
I really thought Aspas could have done more with that position, if I'm honest. I thought that could have been something to get maybe 2, hold a bit of the space to allow the others back in, but no. Let's put in a 1v4 and his post plant. He's already being checked on in towards CT. Man, this ain't pretty. Yeah, this is a formality now. That's beautiful from Optic. The pistol was good. I mean, and it's... Yeah, I don't know what the options are really there for Loud, because I just feel we're not going to get to see them in a gun round.
Well, the sad thing is we might not get to see too long an attack in half from Optic, is what it feels like. Loud, whether or not they opt to invest here, I'm seeing a couple of SMGs flash up already, Lauren, which... I don't know, whichever way you look at it. See, on the defense, it feels a little more comfortable to do so, try and sit a little deeper and take close contact, but it's a big risk, There's a big scoreline against them. Maybe you got to do something, right? I mean, let's go. Let's find out. We go back in. 10-3 Loud. They need some impact here. And look how close they get towards middle. Knife goes in. Did it note less? No, it didn't note.
Okay, so he gets to keep his life.
Desperate to play ahead of this poison orb, actually, from FNS. And try and make use of his one-way.
Okay, Prowler and the underhand flash goes in. Notes nothing close, but they've made a bit of a meal of it, really. They can't quite springboard off the back, but they have pulled 2 players over towards position.
See the exact same pivot once again, it looks like, back towards Art. Or maybe still got their sights set towards Link here.
Second time's a charm. And they get a fight. And Sassy good for it, but it's going to show there was that force by there. So that's quite telling already to have that sort of contact. Careful with the spike now on the other side. That spike drop. Great work from Stadak. Quickly going to commit the fragment towards it to buy a little bit of time to be able to turn attention elsewhere.
I don't think Pancada was spotted there.
I don't think so.
I have this
Would they think about that? Where do they go in this? Yeah.
Well, now definitely, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's...
Oh!
Man, does he
30
abuse
seconds
that
left.
switch time. Unreal. Okay, so spike on the site. Les is super close by, though.
Spike planted.
They're still going to be paranoid about Pip. Do they get a chance on the way out? Ye was thinking about it, man. Ye was thinking about it. Put his toes back in, but... Aspas going to come back through. He still has that Spectre. But he's got FNS on the other side. An even fight, but one out by Aspas. It's the 2v2, but how do you displace Ye? Let's see it. What's the go? Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good at all. Actually, Marv's now going to be sweating bullets here. The 1v1. He's got it. Big round in the end and a big buy that came out for Loud that just gets shattered.
Talked about him being back. The Iceman's back here. Finds 3 on the round. Closes things out. Optic find their 11th. Loud actually presented with another opportunity to invest.
They're just going to be left
It's odds and ends. Yep.
Yeah. You just get left in that cycle here. And again, I'm a little bit sad that we're not going to see potentially a longer side from both of these teams, because I'd love to have seen this, because Optic look really well equipped, well prepared on this. And I don't think we're going to get to see Loud in their element here at all. We go back in. Carter looking for maybe first contact here if he does hold that line. No, going to dip away from this. Thinks better of it. And there it is. Shoulder peek to confirm attendance.
So they're going to try and set him up here. The Stars now planted, but
Freshies
Pancada can't fall here.
They're swinging that so early. Just taking the wide fight. Going to peel away from this now. They pulled the rotation, but they didn't have anyone working early, I guess, rotation towards B or up middle, but we'll see what they do with this now.
No trap for double doors here, so that's going to keep Les in position. And look how deep Aspas has got. He's got his TP all the way back on elbow. And how diligent Optic on the clearance here. Still 2 flashes for Victor. Got his knife up. Obviously Crashes has plenty of view too, and actually going to be spotted here from the Prowler potentially. No, it's invested elsewhere.
But considering how they play this, I feel as though you have to then be diligent in your approach as well. So I think that's going to be high on the priority list, which it was. It has at least warded away Aspas to play deeper on the site now. He does have Sassy by his side.
Did Marv hear the reposition from Les? That would be key information.
Not sure. There's the high horn. Could reveal less he has. So they're going to note that, and Marv's actually found them too. Really nice combination work going out from that Fade utility, but Stadak going to fill the void, so it ain't over just yet. A 4v4 and the Bulldog still biting. Still a chance in this one. And make it 3. Stadak, Sassy, and Aspas, where'd you go with this? And FNS's position is such a problem. Knife back up in 2, but actually it's Aspas to find it. Do they have any idea about this position going out from FNS though? He's waited so patiently, and it's going to pay dividends. Look at this man! Spins around and sends him away. It's 12 for Optic now. sitting pretty on this board. They are looking like they're just sailing through this game.
It's unfortunate Loud unable to get anything done here early on. Optic just kind of riding the wave, honestly, that early momentum. The force comes through once again. Loud now with just scraping pennies together for what they can. Are even really going to be able to make a final stand. I don't think the ultimates are going to be there to support it either. Optic going to run away with this one, rightfully so, deserved with how clinical that first half was.
And considering how some of this game has gone, this has been a real test of the mental as well. Considering how close Fracture was, Breeze, the way that went down, they have been pushed and pushed and pushed. And I'm not going to call it before it happens, but the rivalry is just getting closer between these two, which I love as a storyline here, that they keep going closer and closer. But Loud gonna...
You say it's getting closer, I say it's getting more bitter now.
Absolutely.
There's a real deficit being built now if Optic are able to close this out.
Yeah, again, it's just... It's ridiculous to think that the last time we saw this, it was what, a group stage exit, was it? The elimination game, I believe, in Copenhagen? I'm pretty sure. So again, bitterness, yes, but not quite as much on the line, but it does feel just so fated these two meet so often. But I think the way we just saw the first two maps go down, this rivalry's getting closer, but we have now seen that kind of ace up the sleeve for Optic, their creativity, their capability in new maps. They did it when it was in Fracture with that Neon coming out. We've seen this time and time again. They are so up for the challenge on these creative maps. But, and you got to say it, big statement for the rest of the tournament to roll out Pearl this early and look absolutely hot to trot here.
Oh yeah, Optic look as if we're barely scraping into the strat book here. Obviously, this is the
knows?
first couple of pages.
Yeah.
Like we said, not going to see a very long second half here for them. So we might actually a little bit of a pace change here. Aspas tries to find something. Will be revealed as well though, but it's the green light. It's wide open here for the taking. Aspas actually tagged up there. Big reveal on the other side of things, but Marv comes out on top.
He certainly does, and it's a player advantage, and Victor wants further. He's seen less, but in the meantime, Les did get crashy, so they're not going to have the easiest time. Underhand flash to the right, and the catch on towards FNS too. This is getting really problematic, but still, Victor doing damage. It's down to Sassy and Pancada. Can they keep control of this? Crossing towards the side, do they catch a glimpse? No, Sassy doesn't see it, he can't really deny it. Temptation calling, but it's only a Guardian and a Spectre. It's so little to play with. No one's giving them anything here.
I think both are revealed as well, yeah.
They absolutely are. This is tricky work, and FNS wants this over. He wants this done. Sassy's still standing, but this has been systematic destruction from Optic. Sassy's got to face some music, exchanging places with FNS. And Ye just playing the clock. He's making him work for this meal. Sassy tries again. He's just toying with him, man. You can't do this to them. Optic make it to 13. Get themselves in the playoffs and brush Loud aside.
They come through in the top seed as we saw just there. The last time this happened, Masters 2 Berlin. So what a statement to come out. What a performance here on Pearl as well. We talked about it being uncharted waters, but absolutely clinical. Just not even close. Loud, unable to really get anything going in the first half. In my eyes, this game was over in the first half.